Let's go, let's go. Share the show, share the show. Hit that share button. Time for us to expand. Share the show, people. Gonna get this thing started early. Let's go. Where's TikTok?
Why the fuck would you chase after a woman when you doing it?
Let's go, people. Share the show. Let's get this thing going. Share the show, people. We're gonna get the show started early. Let's go. Shit. Let's get to it, people. Tap that screen. Shout out to all of my people in the chats early. Share the show, YouTube. Let's go. You know what it is. This can't be the right TikTok. Can't be our right TikTok. Nah, this isn't our right TikTok. Yes, it is. Holy shit. Shout out to my day ones and my stay ones. Hope everybody had a cool beginning of the week, right? You guys already know, like, we touch things that most people are kind of scared to touch, and I get it too. I get it. You know, people are scared pages that they've been working on for years are going to get banned and things like that. But we have a thing to do here, right? Uh What is this noise up here? I've come to understand, like, we can say this out loud right now, but I still don't believe we will get the gist of how important the truth is. I don't think so. Because once you have the truth, listen, once you have the truth, you kind of know what to do after that. You know how to move after that. But I think in the black community, we're kind of scared of the truth. We're kind of scared of it, right? Because some of the truths pertaining to the black community, they're harsh and scary, right? They're harsh and scary. But what about never confronting them? Goofy. How long could you possibly live like that? Like, I remember this. I remember there would be some instances where, yeah, let's do that. There would be some instances where, you know, black people will see on TV, we'll see a black cop beating the hell out of a black woman, right? And because we know if we acknowledge what we're seeing is real, that it's a call to duty, we say something like, well, what did she do? Right? This is what I'm saying to you guys. We got to start talking about the real truths. That's what we have to do. And today is going to be a rough one. I'm going to be honest with you. Topic of today's show, people. Blacks and whites. Research suggests black people and white people can never really become friends. This isn't my opinion, right? This isn't, I'm saying this, research has been done. And that's what we're talking about tonight. Oh, did I knock TikTok off of here? I think I did. Damn it, man. There we go. But yeah, that's what we're talking about tonight. Something that people shy away from because it exposes the truth about America. You guys need to understand that you live in America. You guys have, found ways to make good livings for yourself. You found ways to be comfortable. And what we have found is when people have found ways to be comfortable, they'll do anything to retain that comfortability. No one wants the boat rocked. Topic of today's show: can most black people and most white people as a collective ever truly be friends? And here's the thing. When I say friends, I don't mean co-workers. I don't mean acquaintances. Cool in passing, right? Or people who you can get along with. I'm talking about friends for real. I'm talking about trust, empathy, shared understanding, right? You know what? Let's do this. We're going to do something that we don't often do. We're going to do something that we do not often do. Let's check this out. I don't know why we haven't been doing this more often. We're going to rock with Instagram. That's what I'm talking about. We all have to acknowledge that this is a scary topic because some of you have saw things that you should have acted on. I'm not judging you. I'm saying we all have. Some of us have saw things perpetrated against black people and we will try to mind our business, right? We'll kind of try to act like we didn't see something. But the topic of today's show, listen, I'm going to say this again. Most blacks and most whites as a collective can never really truly be friends. This isn't what I'm saying. There's research. I got a lot of this off of Google. There's research behind this. And there's a reason that pretty much blacks and whites can never truly be friends. There's research that you can see on this. And there's a collective of reasons. When I say friends, I don't mean co-workers. I don't mean acquaintances or just cool and passing or people you can get along with. I'm talking about trust, empathy, shared understandings, emotional safety, loyalty, being able to be vulnerable, right? Being able to be fully yourself without code switching and respecting each other's lived experiences. Look, he said, that's only blacks who never leave the hood. Yeah, okay, okay. On this very platform that you're on right now, a lot of people love my content. I didn't even know it, but I had about 15,000. I got about 10,000 white subscribers. I spoke out against Charlie Kirk. I spoke about Charlie Kirk one day on this platform. I said nobody deserves to die, but I do think he pushed a lot of negativity. And my own supporters start calling me nigger down here. Coon, right? Monkey. See, and this is what this research is talking about. This is what you'll think that you have an ally. I think this. I think as it pertains to blacks and whites, I think black people can only be nice to white people, be cordial with them, have cool conversations. Our lived experiences are so different. They're so different. You know, matter of fact, let's go if we're going to go there. We might as well get to this early. Here's how a lot here's how a lot of white people look at us.
Say that somebody was coming into our church and they're black, and would they be eligible for membership in our church? Yes, they of course they would. They'd be eligible for membership in our church. But would they be permitted to participate in, embody, and practice what I would call black culture generally in our church? The answer is absolutely not. Why? Because the characteristics that mark black culture as a generalization, in the same way Paul's talking about Cretans on Crete, they are evil, murderous, violent, bestial people. They steal, they kill, they destroy. They are sinful to the core. They have besetting sins that are like fatherlessness, sexual immorality. They molest children at a high rate.
I challenge anybody right now to look up what race leads in pedophilia at an 80% rate. And see, this is why I'm saying blacks and whites can never truly be friends, because this is the issue I had with Charlie Kirk. Like, I know Charlie Kirk was intelligent. See, I know that. So when you say that blacks kidnap and arson more than any other race, but when people look it up, it's white people, that's something that you did on purpose. And that's something we'll never get over. That's something we'll never be able to get past that, right? I think blacks and whites, listen, I don't have a problem with black. There's a lot of people talking right now about white people starting their own community. I don't see anything wrong with that. I just think black people are dumb for not doing it themselves. I don't even have an issue with white supremacy. The issue that I have is, why aren't you touting black supremacy? A lot of the things that white people do, you take them as wrong, but I don't think a lot of them are wrong. A lot of the things that we don't like about the white community, you wouldn't have you wouldn't have as big a problem with it if you were the one who had that type of power, right? Now, here's the difference. Black people, even if we did have the power, we're just very peaceful people. Do you want to know? I don't believe that blacks can run this country. If whites just disappear right now, black people can't run this country. We can't even get our own community together. Mexicans could run this country. Mexicans could run it. I believe Asians could run it because they already have infrastructures. They already know what it's like to build communities. They've done it, right? But black people can't. We can't get along with each other. We have a lot of work to do. We have to become civilized before we can run anything else, right? And that doesn't mean that there aren't some amazing black people, because there are. Most black people are better than the small number of ones that aren't, right? But we still haven't built any communities yet. Black people and white people will never be able to truly get along, right? It's because most people, a lot of black people, check this out. A lot of black people, well, let me go ahead and play this.
All of any criminal statistic that you could look at, almost, they have besetting sins that are like fatherlessness, sexual immorality. They molest children at a high rate. All of any criminal statistic that you could look at, almost pretty much without exception, they excel at them.
Now you see these stats. Look at this. FBI's uniform crime. Whites lead in arsons, right? Child porn. Whites lead 85 to 90%. Now, I'm not going to keep on playing most of this, but the issue is this. White people have done way more damage to America than black people have, by far. The grievances that people have with black people is what we do to each other primarily. We pretty much don't affect other races. We're not dropping any bombs and things like that. Listen, the women aren't even safe in the United States military. They're getting RAPED'd, dismembered, body parts cut off and buried in several different spots, right? So we don't have to get into all of that. That's not even what tonight's show is about. But the issue is we have different DNAs. We're responsible for different things. Black people are building strong communities. It's just not where is this happening at? We don't have a community, bro. He said black people are building communities. We don't have a community. Black people are just black people. Asian people have a community. Mexicans have a community. They actually have their own grocery stores, right? They have their own schools. Black people don't have that stuff. Yeah, I don't know where he got that from. And that's another thing. We have to be truthful with ourselves. We have to be truthful with ourselves about how poorly we're failing. I believe it's a curse in the Bible. I believe we're a cursed people. That's what I believe. We don't have our own record labels. We dominate. Everything that we dominate in, we don't own. Right? Everything that we dominate in, we don't own. Finally, you say something that we agree on. When I see people say that, I'm like, why do you come to my page if you don't agree with anything? That is weird as hell to me. I don't do it. You'll never see me at the LGB pages. Pages that I don't agree with anything they say, I don't go to them. That's weird as hell. Unless you're a pain freak or something. I don't know. But I will challenge you right now in front of everybody with Cash App. Name something that I've said on my page that can be proven as a lie or inaccurate. How about that? And we can do a Cash App bet in front of everybody. But you won't do that, will you? Right? So search the inside of you and tell yourself, if I won't challenge him, why did I just say what I just said? Hey, listen, Joanna Wilson, I like what you just said. I've been said that if black people did have a community, we would have been taken out a long time ago. If blacks had a grocery store where primarily blacks shopped, we would have been wiped out a long time ago. The only reason they can't wipe African Americans out right now is because we're integrated with society. They would have a significant portion of white Americans and as casualties of whatever they try to do to us. But history has proven that Here's the thing that black people have an issue with. I don't want to get too far off course. Here's the thing black people have an issue with. Black people in America really just want to be left alone. That's it. We just want to be left alone. Even since after slavery was abolished, people talk about Black Wall Street. There was about 60 Black Wall Streets. Black people would go off and build their own communities. And shortly thereafter, pissed off whites would follow them, pillage the community, set it on fire. You could look this up. You could look this up. So Charlie Kirk used to say, "Why haven't blacks been able to rebound from the atrocities?" Well, do you know how long it takes to build a community? And then after years of building it, you come set it on fire? Right? And those are the disingenuous things about Charlie Kirk that I used to look at like he's being disingenuous on purpose. Study of the whole behavior. I like that. I appreciate it. But I think black people have to come to the understanding that America hates black people. And we have people who are really, really scared of white America who they'll say things like, they just say things that none of us know is true. I mean, we all know that it aren't true. Charlie Kirk used to say there's no such thing as white privilege. That's the dumbest thing that I've ever heard in my life. That's crazy. I automatically know when I go into a courthouse, it's going to be different from when a white person goes in the courthouse. My repercussions will be different. America hates black people. America hates black people. They're currently preparing for a race war right now. Get on ChatGPT and see if all of the elements aren't in place. There's people preparing for it. And the crazy part is, it's a bully tactic. There's around over 100 million white people in America. And there's 150 million white people. It's somewhere in that area because they're declining. Around 140 million, something like that. And they're preparing for a race war with a population of around 42 million. That's cowardice. It's cowardice, right? I think you guys would be better off. Libyan, if you don't like the page, leave. Right? This is what I'm saying. This stuff is crazy as hell to me. Did the CIA pay? Listen, check this out, people. Did the CIA pay you to ruffle some feathers? Nope, but the CIA did flood black communities with crack. How about that? How about that? Now, we can cash app a bet on it, but you don't want to do that, do you? I know. This research that we have today, it goes into detail why blacks and whites can truly never be friends. And it's because of things like this. When black people have grievances, white people call them victims. They'll say, get over it and things like that. They won't acknowledge, even Charlie Kirk, he wouldn't acknowledge that white supremacy exists. I have all of the studies right here, right? When blacks submit their resumes for jobs and things like that, if there's a black sounding name, they say being black as it pertains, shout out to Biggs up in this situation supporting the show. Listen, and here's the crazy part. This is why blacks and whites will never be able to truly be friends, is because these are things that we say that are factual. Factual. But they'll say, get over it. Or they'll say, you weren't a slave. Things like that. When all of the elements, the engine and the gears are still here to keep us in a certain situation. So it's that we never get beside ourselves, right? And think that we can own this or think that we can own that. And we can't. You need to know that America hates you. If America didn't hate you, listen, some of you might be familiar. Some of you might be familiar with, listen, and I'm going to go ahead. Turbulence, people. For those of you who are not familiar with the show, when you hear that, I am about to ruffle some feathers. The primary towards black people is jealousy. Because we don't do anything to them. We don't go lynch white people. We don't do anything to them. Charlie Kirk lost his life, and historically black colleges got bomb threats. And a white man took his life. I'm telling you right now, America hates you. And I think you're pretty foolish if you try to hide that fact, right? Oh, bless them. They said we have black-owned groceries. They said we have black-owned grocery store in Washington, D.C. Look, you're probably talking about two, right? I'm not talking about that, brother. I'm talking about a community, man. When I say community, I'm talking about the community. What Asian people, wherever Asians are, there's communities. If they're in Chicago, when I say community, I don't mean we got 6 grocery stores. I don't mean that. Yep. Listen. Sway said you're always one disagreement from being the N-word. I experienced that on here. On my own. I didn't even know I had so many white followers on Instagram. I didn't know because my show is predicated on holding the black community accountable and adding teachable lessons to my videos and things like that. But what I found out after talking to somebody else, white people some white people come for the understanding, but thousands of white people started coming to my channel because while I was using my content and my videos as teachable moments to black community, they were using it to make fun of black people and fuel the hatred that they have for black people. You can tell when I went live and said that I thought Charlie Kirk passed negativity on this very live, they were calling me the N-word. They were calling me monkey and everything. Some of them even said, go back to the dating and things like that. We don't want to hear this from you. Like shut up and dribble, like they told LeBron. I think this. I think we could get along better if we acknowledge where we stand with each other. I truly believe that. 1,000%, Kane. 1,000%. But let me go back to what I was talking about. Turbulence, people. It's jealousy. Even when black people are poor, we are alive. We are alive. When white Americans have money, they don't really seem alive. What are they doing? Where are they going when they do it? They don't have hoods where everybody hangs out. Their picnics, their family reunions aren't like ours. Like they're not alive, right? If anything, they're handling business and things like that, but they aren't alive. Why do you think? Listen, black people who have these social media pages and things like that. Hey, Kane, I wanted a piece of his ass. Listen, my people will tell you 3 weeks before he lost his life, I was online trying to find out where his next school is going to be. And he didn't have any in LA anytime soon. So when you go to these schools, you're dealing with elementary minds. But you notice he wasn't going up against really any adults, any people his age. You see what I mean? You know, when you ask people elementary questions, you tell people oppression system, white privilege doesn't exist and things like that. Those are that's from racism. When people say things like that, it's a spit in the face to all that black people go through because of white privilege. There are women who get caught. It's all over social media right now. They portray us all over social media as demons. Elon Musk is even doing it. Elon Musk is trying to get a race war going. Elon Musk is trying to do it. Guess who else is doing it? Andrew Tate. You don't believe me? One thing you guys will learn, I don't just get up here and talk.
One of the reasons why I think that this location
Damn you!
I'm disrespecting the past.
Damn you!
I know it's fantastic.
Say that somebody was coming into our church and they're black, and would they be eligible for?
Don't worry about it. I'm still going to pull it up. We had some old clips up there. Let's go. Where you at? It's hard for me to type with one hand, people. come on, come on. There it is right there. You guys know I'm kind of good with this thing.
I'm very worried for my white daughters because I don't think they're going to have a country anywhere left on this planet in less than a decade where they're not going to be a victim or a target for potential rape or violent crime purely because of the color of their skin. And it is down to white people to finally grow a backbone and stick up for yourselves because you're being genocided. This is.
What do you think he means when he says that? It's time for white people to grow a backbone and stick up for themselves. Andrew Tate is a grifter. He moved in and was telling people I'm partly black and things like that. And that's what I'm telling you guys. Most people do that. They utilize blackness when it's convenient for them. Listen, this isn't a show today about hating white people or anything like that. I just think black people really need to understand that you live in a country where a lot of the trauma that white people see in our bad behavior, because we do have bad behavior. We do. But a lot of it comes from, could you imagine living in a country that you know doesn't protect you? A country where you know it doesn't love you? Right? They show us every day. That is trauma by itself. But white people don't feel the same. Asian people don't feel the same. Black people are not loved in America. You are actually hated. These people pumped one of the most highly addictive substances into our communities. The issue that I used to have with Charlie Kirk, he would talk about the fatherlessness and things like that, but he wouldn't talk about how our communities got fatherless. I call it the father snatching machine. The 1994 crime bill signed by Bill Clinton. Listen, do you guys know not, $40 billion was advocated to this project. $9 billion was to build prisons, and the laws that were put into place with this crime bill were generated to decapitate black people, right? You pump a highly addictive substance in their neighborhoods, but when they touch it, you give them 50 and 180 years for it. Nonviolent crimes, because he dealt this or he had past 3 grams. You know how we know that everything that I'm saying is true? Because later on, they had to come around and try to do bills called equal sentencing acts, which means they know it wasn't equal, right? There's one thing that we all know. Typically, and this is in any race, typically women suffer less harsher penalties and repercussions in life than men do. But it wasn't so with the crack epidemic. Women were getting 30 and 40 years in prison. So our mothers and our fathers were getting snatched out from the homes. And then the kids are having to raise themselves and they're messing with guys because he's got a few bucks and this and this and that. Now she has a baby. She doesn't know what it is to have parents. So she has a baby. The baby doesn't have parents and they're growing up in dysfunction and her baby ends up having a baby. And that's what happened. Now, I will hold black women accountable as well. Crack and coke had different sentencing guidelines. It was called the Violent Crimes Act. So listen, you can look this up right now. Powder is preferable to the white community. The hard one, preferable to the black community. Powder, you could get caught with over 500 grams, which has a estimated street value of around $40,000. If you look this up right now, it'll tell you 500 grams received less time than $500 worth of the hard one. Look it up. That was attack. Look at the music industry. You'll never hear an Asian rapper or something like that promoting tear up the Asian community and blow brains out and things like that. Black people are literally being destroyed by the music industry. If you go to YouTube right now, which Bone was it? Some of you already know what I'm about to say. Bone Thug and Harmony. There was a white music executive that tipped him off to this. He said he didn't want to expose it because he was scared. Out here in LA, they had a meeting out in Hollywood Hills. They went to this meeting. It was music execs. They were talking about prisons were about to be privatized to where you could invest in prisons and things like that. And then they said that they were going to start promoting artist, who talked about the violence and things like that, and it said it would be a direct pipeline to the prison systems. You know how we know it's true? Who the hell wants to invest in a business that they know is not going to do well? Who the hell wants to invest in prisons and pray to God that people start behaving better and don't go to prison, right? They pumped that pipeline. They pumped it. Look this up. You don't have to listen to me. Look it up on YouTube. Bone, I forget which Bone it was, but he goes into detail about it. But black people don't have to even see that because we know what happened. We know it wasn't fake, that the white substance got pumped into our communities, and most of us got decapitated when we touched it. You know how we know that they did it on purpose? Because over the last 15 years, when the white community got hit with the opioid epidemic, guess what they did? Because the opioid epidemic is attached to the same penalties and repercussions that was attached to the black community if we touch it, they changed the laws. It was no longer considered a criminal offense, but a health issue. Now you can go get help. After all of these black people since 1980 have went on to do 70 and 80 years, right? I think you guys would do better in life if you knew that you belong, that you were a part of a country that hates you. Then you would know not to get so cozy, right? Listen, the reason that I say people hate African Americans, I want you to listen to this. This is Andrew Tate.
Daughters, because I don't think they're going to have a country anywhere left on this planet in less than a decade where they're not going to be a victim or a target. I'm very worried for my white daughters because I don't think they're going to have a country anywhere left on this planet in less than a decade where they're not going to be a victim or a target for potential rape or violent crime purely because of the color of their skin. And it is down to white people to finally grow a backbone and stick up for yourselves because you're being genocided. This is from a mixed race man. You are being genocided and you know you are.
Listen to me. I want any of the white people down there to tell me how white people are being genocided. Are black people attacking white people on a large scale? No. That's another thing. Now, that's personal that irritates me. Like the guy on the train who took the white woman's life, and maybe 4 other incidents. They blow that so big, like they try to make it seem like blacks are losing it. But see, as many white people kill black people, it just seems like it's not a big deal. So then when about 2 or 3 whites lose their lives, let's go if we're going to go.
Agree? Is it really racist if you crack stereotypical jokes with your boys? I don't think it is. Do you?
No, stereotypical, no.
Like if I call you a
But
watermelon eating, fried chicken eating, Kool-Aid.
That's Aiden Ross. Aiden Ross is prejudiced. I got several clips up here that I can show you. Why would you want to call somebody a fried chicken eating, right? And this is what I'm telling you guys. I heard somebody say I'm exaggerating. Well, here's what I'll say. Anybody can feel free to come up and shut down my information. How about that? I always like to challenge people to where I don't believe people believe the things that they say down there if they won't come up. That's how I look at it. I think you're just talking if you won't come up and challenge my ideologies and my viewpoints. I think you know better.
Lover. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Racist if you crack stereotypical jokes with your boys? I don't think it is. Do you?
No, stereotypical, no.
Like if I call you a
But
watermelon eating, fried chicken eating, Kool-Aid lover, there's nothing wrong with that, right?
Oh, got you, bro. Yeah, he's over exaggerating. Listen, I want to show you guys something. You guys think that I just get up here and talk. Most people know better that I don't. But I want to show you something. Matter of fact, I might have it. Do I? No. Do I? No. I don't have it. Do I? Damn it. I'm surprised that I got rid of it. But we'll just do it like this. I want you guys to see something. Blacks are going to get attacked in America in the next 12 months. There's going to be a race war. They've been trying to pop it off here lately. Watch this. I got a bad temper. Fucking dickhead. I just did that on camera. Damn it. Might have tore up the laptop too. Oh, I think I did. Something bad happened. I hate things. I do. I hate things. Look, now it's going to work. There we go. I want you to listen to this. This is when Charlie Kirk got taken out by a white person. Listen to this.
When Charlie Kirk was assassinated, I lost it. I was extremely emotional. Mr. President, I implore you, call for a civil war. Call for a civil war and let us do our thing. Let us go door to door, street by street, and clean this country. I let social media and my emotions get the better of me, and I made a video talking about civil war. I posted a video the next day asking the president to call for civil war. Let's try to get this video in front of Donald Trump, in front of President Trump, excuse me. Sir, you took the same oath as millions of veterans in this country. Over 13 million veterans in this country, most of whom are conservative. We took the same oath to defend our country against all enemies, foreign and domestic. These leftists are our enemies.
Did you hear what he said? Give us the green light, President Trump. Let us go door to door. Do you know what he mean? So let me ask you this. When he said let us go door to door, do you think he meant to take out white people? Is that what you think he meant? No. Talking about black people. Because Charlie Kirk got taken out by a white person. And this is why I tell you guys, you can be cordial, you can be cool, you know what I mean? Somebody said something that I want to address. If I judge them off of about 1% of them, I'd be a fool, right? Just like them judging us by less than 1% of ours. No, I highly disagree. The late great Muhammad Ali said, if you see 100 snakes coming at your door and there's 5 of them that look to be friendly, do you hold the door open so that the 5 can get in and risk letting more of the 95 in? No, you just safer not to trust it. I want to ask people this, and that doesn't mean there's not any cool white people down there. I don't hold that perspective. I'm going to read some comments because I'm going to ask a question, and I'm going to read the comments. Tell me, if you're African American, tell me what has white America shown you, how they feel about you. Tell me. I'm going to read this. I'm going to read these. And you don't have to agree with me. Just tell me, from your experience in America, what has America told you? What has America told you that it feels about blacks as a collective? Oh, listen, said I've received help from a few white folks. Me too. I got one in my life right now that I'll do something to somebody about him. Seriously. But I'm still smart enough to know, as a collective, it's not smart to trust them. Look, Rick said YT want us dead. Yeah. Look what they did to Flint, Michigan. Do you know how diabolical you got to be to do something like that? So they charged the people so that black people wouldn't get upset, but then they dropped the charges for the county officials. My point is this. It doesn't mean hate white people. You can be nice to white people. You can be cordial. Listen, me, myself, I wouldn't want to have it on my conscience to treat anybody how black people get treated in America. I wouldn't want, listen, there's just really no way that I could give people 60 years in prison for nonviolent crimes. You got to be a demon, to be honest. You got to be a demon. You got to be a demon. No doubt about it. Wayne said they will always remind you that you're still an N-word, no matter how much. Look at look at how they treat Myron Gaines. He wants to be a white supremacist so bad. Listen, they told him. One of them just got fed up. Look this up. It's in a group chat. He was talking bad about white people. The white person said, listen, man, we appreciate the things that you be saying, but you're not one of us. You're not one of us. And he told the other people, that's the problem with letting non-white people in. You know, then they start thinking that they're a part of us. Listen, I want to say this to you guys. Just like the people who get in these women's Yada Awakening, Chris Perry, Derek Jackson, listen. Or I take that back. Let's get rid of them because theirs actually works. You ever notice that you'll make a statement or something like that condemning how women's behavior is, and you'll find a couple of guys down in the chats trying to defend them? They think they'll be rewarded. They think that maybe a black woman will say something like, say it, King, or maybe jump in his inbox. Listen, human beings don't respect suckers. People know when you're trying to suck up to be accepted. People know when you're trying to suck up to be accepted. And it's a turnoff. It's a turnoff. I'm gonna go ahead and play this, but I want you guys to know there's going to be a race war. Let me play this again.
And Charlie Kirk was assassinated. I lost it. I was extremely emotional. Mr. President, I implore you, call for a civil war. Call for a civil war and let us do our thing. Let us go door to door, street by street, and clean this country.
It is what it is.
I let social media and my emotions get the better of me, and I made a video talking about civil war. I posted a video the next day asking the president to call for civil war. Let's try to get this video in front of Donald Trump, in front of President Trump, excuse me. Sir, you took the same oath as millions of veterans in this country, over 13 million veterans in this country, most of whom are conservative. We took the same oath to defend our country against all enemies, foreign and domestic. These leftists are our enemies. This is no longer left versus right. This is good versus evil. You have, give or take, 3 years left. If you call for a civil war, the conservative veterans in this country will take our country back from the evil left. You know, I fucked up. I shouldn't have never posted it.
And see, not to all white people, but you know, this is what we find after they say something and after they try to do something really terrible. Maybe once their jobs start getting called and things like that, they'll say, I fucked up. No, it's in you. And this is what we were just talking about. If you piss one of them off or say something that maybe they think you shouldn't have said, it'll go up. It'll go up. But now look at him. I said something that maybe I shouldn't have said because he had a day or a week to go by. And now after you thought about it. But what if he had had several people in his family or his acquaintance that called him like, I'm with you, bro. Let's tear this. See what I'm saying? Some bad things would have happened. And that's why I tell you, we're going to get back to the show. We're going to get back to the show. People, we do not have one show contributor. And I'm over here risking my channel. Let's go, people. Cash App the real Stacey Prince or hit that super chat. Let's go. Black people and white people, the elements aren't in place. The elements that establish the definition of the word friend, they're not in place for us to ever truly be friends. They're not in place. I'm talking about trust. How many of you trust white America implicitly? Empathy. Do you think white people have empathy for our plight? Shared understanding. We don't have shared understanding. Emotional safety. We don't know what that is. Loyalty. We just talked about that, right? This brother right here called for a civil war, like basically not a civil war, to go to black people's doorsteps and take them out. Now, I want to say something about black women that I've been telling you guys. Turbulence, people. For those of you who don't know, when you hear that, I'm probably about to say something that's going to ruffle some feathers. Black women have positioned themselves to where when this race war does break out, black women are going to suffer the highest level of casualties. I've been saying this for the longest because I know what I would do to you. When stores, black women, they got these degrees and these jobs and they lost their damn minds. They lost their minds. They went against their own men. Start saying, I won't date a man who doesn't make this and that amount. When in fact, before you guys got the rights to work, we took care of you and loved doing it, right? You've never seen men of any race assessing women based on how much money they make. We can be millionaires and we will take you if you are the waitress in a diner who brings us our coffee. This is why I tell people men love more genuinely than women do. We do. African American women got in these positions. They started saying dumb stuff like, I won't go to the Cheesecake Factory. They start calling men Ray Rays and Pookies when you guys are the one with multiple children by multiple men that we have to deal with if we want to date you, right? When these things break out, like I keep up with it. I use search engines to see, because there are several elements that have to come into place that will identify that civil unrest is on the brink, and I keep up with it, right? After Charlie Kirk lost his life, it was high. It was really high, but there was still 3 components missing in order to, pull it off. When this thing really happens and grocery stores, because I know me myself, when people have looted grocery stores and the grocery store shelves are bare for a month, but they're promising to restock them, do you think people who love their children are going to sit around while their daughter is nodding off from famine? She's already not eaten in 2 days. What would you do? I'm not a bad person, but those of you ladies who have moved out in these cul-de-sacs, like, I live out in the white, girl, I got me a house out in the white neighborhood and da-da-da. Do you know that everybody who lives in that same cul-de-sac as you knows you're a single woman? Hey, Takesha, how are you? Right? He's good now. He's good now. But you let things fall apart. And Mr. Smith, who has always been polite to you, you're going to see a side of him that you didn't even think was possible. Survival of the fittest. Survival of the fittest. You know how I know? Because I know what I'll do if I have to. I know you have groceries up in that house. And listen, you'll often hear women say things like, I go to the gun range you guys need to stop saying that. It makes men laugh. It makes men laugh. Guess what the strongest deterrent is? A man. And you don't have one because you've been out here getting blasted. You've been out here being promiscuous, talking about I don't need a man. You're the only race of people talking about I don't need a man. And it's also why we as a people can't climb. Every other race of people are voting as one household. In the black community, we vote 2 separate votes. The women vote for whoever makes them feel good. Like they'll say something like Derek Jackson. They'll say something like Yada Awakening. Black queens. She's partially black, right? And that just gets women so gooey on the inside, they'll raise $80 million inside of a week for that person. If they get Megan Thee Stallion to come, right? If they get Cardi B to come speak, our women will vote in direct opposition against us, right? And that's why they do these things. In the black community, everybody else is operating from an individual standpoint. But in other communities, they operate as teams. That's why you'll never be able to whoop a team. We have women running around saying, I'm an independent woman. I pay all my bills by myself. You damn dummy. Who the hell would want to pay? Who? And you think that's smart? White women, Asian women, Latino women, when they go to their mailbox and bills just fall out as soon as they open the door, they're not tripping. Because there's a man in the house that's either going to pay half or 60 or 70% of theirs, and their paycheck, they get to put some of it up in savings. We have a group of women walking around talking about, I'm an independent woman. You damn fool. I'm going to get off of this in a second, but the Minister Farrakhan said a nation can rise no higher than its women. We're seeing that play out right now in the black community. The men are starting to dress like this. The young men, the quarter zips and things like that. Some of you can go to my page on Insta, well, all of my social media, and you can see where we got a ignorant fool who did a live video making fun of those. See, it's crazy because we make fun. We get down on black men for wearing their pants sagging and your ASS is hanging all out like a damn fool. Wearing jeans so tight that you resemble a woman. And we get down on them about that. But then when they start dressing like professionals, when they start dressing, wearing quarter zips and things that make them look good, things that enhance opportunities for them, right? Do you guys know why I dress the way that I dress on a regular? Because there's studies behind this. It increases the output of opportunities that come your way. It makes it easier for people to talk to you, a variety of different people. You could be at your favorite lounge, and it'll make it easier for so-and-so who you don't know is the owner of blah, 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 to come crack a corny, rich white person joke with you. But now, let me be dressed like a nigga. He knows better than to come over there and say something to me. And plus, my grandfather used to say, a man is only going to feel as about as good as he look. I feel good when I dress according to who I am. I am a professional. I've built several things, right? But back to my point, she went viral. She started saying that they were dressing like white people. She started saying black people were trying to be white. Listen, black people have always dressed like this. Go back and look at the pictures when black people have worn suits. This stuff is crazy. Our women are our downfall. Of course, that doesn't mean all of them, that a huge number. They have taken on this man-made culture. This isn't even black culture. Black people are polite. Black people are nice, but we keep getting trauma induced on us, like through our music. Have you ever noticed people like D1 can't get record deals? People like La Russell can't get record deals because they're going to talk about things that are going to uplift us and influence us to do better, right? They don't put the marketing dollars behind those people. They put it behind people like the baby, people who are talking about letting that extender clip go. This is what we're dealing with. And people want to say there's no such thing as systematic oppression. That's why blacks and whites can never truly be friends, because black people we see the gears, we see the mechanisms that are in place to keep us broken. And it offends us when you say it's not. Even the whole music industry. The whole music industry is geared towards decapitating. Look at the music. Listen, how haven't you understood that they will never allow the type of music that targets the black community? They would never allow it to target the Jewish community. Think about it. Think about redlining. I'm not going to get into all of this, though. Miss Sherry said, no single woman likes to pay bills alone, but at the end of the day, single women have to what's deemed necessary without a man. Let's go. Turbulence, people. About to ruffle some feathers. It's because you have done so much bullshit that you've decreased your value so low to where men of no race want you. That's what you're dealing with. Men don't typically see something amazing and opt to walk in the opposite direction. That's not the way that this works. 70% of African American women have multiple children by multiple different men. Your attitudes are bad. Even when our women have PhDs, they still behave like niggas. Look at Jasmine Crockett. She's up in Capitol Hill with two of her assistants doing they not like us. They not like us. I guarantee you that's never been done in history. I'm not trying to say it was horrific, but she took a portion of the broken black energy in Capitol Hill. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I know, Miss Sherry, I know it sounds harsh what I just said, but it's the truth. It's the truth. Black women have been ranked the most undesirable group of women on the entire planet to date. And you can look that up. You don't have to believe me. Simple Google search, right? And exactly, yeah. The issue with this, Miss Sherry, is you guys won't take accountability for your behavior. You won't take accountability for it. You say men ain't shit. No, you got 3 kids by 3 different men. Hey, guess who the most obese group of women in America is? Have you guys ever, when you guys were young and playing with your G.I. Joes and your Tonka trucks and things like that, listen, did any of your friends, when you were in the front yard playing with the dump trucks, do you recall any of your friends when you guys were 6 saying, when I grow up, I can't wait to get me a woman who's obese and got multiple children by multiple men? Yeah, men have never said that. You turned into something that men of no race desire. So, and I think this, Miss Sherry, I think we'll get so much further with accountability. We'll get so much further with it. Because if you can acknowledge that you've turned into something that's undesirable to men, you can fix it. But if you keep saying men ain't shit, listen, watch this. Black men take each other's lives at a disproportionate rate. I said it. So, I didn't turn into a pillar of salt. I didn't start melting. See, that's the difference between men and women. Men, we don't go delusional. We know the things that are taking place. Even if we continue to do those things, you won't be able to get us to say, no, we don't be gang banging. This is why I tell you guys, men and women are different. African American women are in a severe state of delusion right now. You turned yourselves into something. You're gluing other nationalities of women's hair in your head, and it's doing so much damage to your scalp to where now you have to keep wearing lace fronts and hair weave just to hide the damage that's done to your hair. We had been telling you we don't like that. I wouldn't dare mess with a woman who wears a lace front. You have these long, ratchet Freddy Krueger fingernails, right? You wear makeup so thick to where it looks like it was put on with a butter knife and you look like a drag queen. You already have children in tow. Again, you've turned into something that if men of the world took a survey, all that you've turned into would be something that they say they don't want. Now, I'm not saying that to be mean to you. I often say that when women, to be honest, play victim. You didn't listen. She said, what was her comment? She said, no single women likes to pay bills. No single women likes to pay bills alone. But at the end of the day, single women have what's deemed necessary without men. No, you did that. You didn't have to not have a man. You guys were running around saying, I don't want no 50-50. Right? You guys were saying, I don't want no build the Bob. We always build you guys up when you weren't nothing and when you had other men's kids in tow. You weren't as sympathetic and compassionate towards us as we were to you. You turned your backs on your men. That's a fact. If anybody disagrees, you can come on up. You can come on up. Anybody who disagrees with what I said, you can come on up. And we can pull stats to suggest everything that I'm saying is true. When you guys married the American government and kicked your African American men are the only thing that was ever able to keep black women under control, and the American government helped black women escape from black men. This is what happened. They gave everything that you were supposed to get from your men, you started getting from the government. And I always tell people, if you want to know whose woman somebody is, look who pays their bills. Look who provides their food. Look who pays their rent, right? Food stamps, EBT, Section 8, right? Medicaid, right? That's your man. I wish you would, your black ass be in jail. That's your man. Let's get back to the show, though. Um, there are components in place that keep black people from being able to actually truly be able to be friends with white people. Like, a friend you're supposed to be, they can feel the loyalty that you have for them, right? Being able to be vulnerable with them. We can't be vulnerable with white people because they will call us victims, right? They'll I mean, we see it every day. Being able to be fully yourself around them without code switching. Can't do that. And respecting each other's lived experience. They won't respect our lived experience. They'll say, what is it? We're victims. Victim mentality. When most people say black and white people can be friends, they're not even using the real definition of friendship. So we're going to get into all of that, right? Friendship really means, listen, we throw that word around so casually that most people don't even know what it means anymore. A real friend is somebody who understands your reality, can empathize with your struggles, right? Emotional vulnerability, loyal even when you're not in the room, doesn't judge your trauma, makes you feel safe being your unfiltered self. We don't have these things. We don't have them. Knows your culture, understands your triggers, can anticipate how something will affect you, right? Won't minimize your pain or the things that you've been through. Victim mentality. Stands with you even when it costs them socially. This is a friend. Look at all of that. Most people can't even do that with people from their own race. How are they going to do it across two completely different American experiences? Black America and white America have two completely different lived experiences and realities. We're going to break down the reality that most white Americans grew up in. Generally speaking, that is. There are exceptions, but we're talking about the collective. White America's reality, they grew up seeing police as protectors. They're taught America is fundamentally fair. Right? This is what their reality is. They are the cultural default. They rarely get judged by stereotypes. Jobs, banks, schools, landlords assume good intent towards them. Okay, Miss Sherry said, I'm a single woman with 2 kids, never been in the system. I'm not a drag queen. I'm not obese. I just witnessed good women's lives get destroyed by men, even though I'm single. I do not belittle any race of men. Did you know that women cheat more than men do? See, I think this thing where we have been uh, labeling women as the victims of men, that was for our grandmothers and our great grandmothers. Anybody listen, that was for the women of the 70s. That's who that was for. No, I'm sorry, that was for the women of the 50s and 60s. They did get, done wrong by our grandfathers. Grandfather Papa was a Rolling Stone. But listen to me. Anybody who was born in the 70s and up, listen, women have been worse than men ever have historically. If you don't believe me, I'm going to ask this of the entire panel. Oh, and Miss Sherry, I commend you for being the type of woman you are. Like you said, you're not that type of woman. I want to ask this of the entire panel. Outside of violence, name me something that men have ever been accused of that's worse than pinning a baby on a man who's not really the father of it. I'm waiting. Name me something outside of violence that men have ever been accused of that is worse than pinning a baby on a man that's not really the baby. Listen, we're not talking about just pinning. Some of these people are finding out 25 years later. Right? Look, everybody says not one thing. Okay, now here's the driving nail in the coffin. In America, all of America, it's at a 30% rate. In the black community, it's approaching 60%. Listen, 5 of you on here right now, okay, not there, but on YouTube, 5 of you right now could take blood tests and somebody would probably lose their lives. It's that bad. It's that bad. So, you know, that thing with Gail, that is violence. I said name something outside of violence. Right? And if we want to go there are women who are doing that as well. You're leading men up into hotel rooms under the premise that they're going to have some sex, and you're having men come in there and with these, and right, you're also slipping things in people's drinks. So yeah. Yes, Robert. Yes. Do you know what it's like to find out that a child isn't yours? Listen, let's get this straight now. You guys aren't the victim. You are the new bad boys. Let's get that straight now. Let's get that straight now. Listen, they did a study. 50 to 70% of women who are currently in relationships already have a backup plan in case this relationship doesn't work out. You are the new bad boys. Most definitely. Look. Found out my cousin wasn't my cousin. Yeah, so I don't want nobody else coming up here trying to play that victim card with women. You guys are the new bad boys. Most definitely. But listen, back to what we're talking about. In white America, there are privileges that African Americans don't get to experience. We don't even look to them. We don't even believe we'll get them. Right? Jobs, banks, schools, landlords assume good intent from white people. Their family lineage benefited from generational stability and wealth. Their neighborhoods received better funding, their schools and safeties. They don't inherit trauma from slavery, segregation, or systematic violence. And for those of you who tell blacks to get off of the slavery card, it is a passed down behavior. Do you know how many things I can pull off the top of my head that our grandmother taught us? Things that are actually detrimental, like, well, long as my rent and my bills paid, I'm good. No, the hell I'm not. Why can't my rent and my bills be paid and I get $675,000 in the bank? You guys just really don't understand, and that's why we can't be friends, because you don't understand. We can be cordial. We can be nice to each other, but you don't understand us. You don't understand how we feel about certain things, which is why, think about it. You tried to force us to love Charlie Kirk as much as white America loved him. You know how wrong that is? Anybody who was online saying they didn't approve of Charlie Kirk, listen, they were taking people's jobs. I forget it. In Utah, where is it? There was a state senator that was trying to get a bill passed. Females might not be cheating. I don't know what that means. They cheat more than men. Or maybe I misread that. Men don't even have access to sex like that. If we all put our phones up right now, we can't use our phones. If you go outside with a sign over your head that says newly single after 10 years and ready to have some fun, man, you might not get a hit. A man might not get a hit for like a week or two. A woman does the same thing, she'll cause a traffic jam. We don't even have the options to have as much sex as women do. An overweight woman can get way more hits on sexual activity than a handsome man who has money. She said it's because most men are dogs. Then why do you guys, why is 33% of the children in America been pinned on the wrong man? Ma'am. It's because you guys are having loose, raw sex with just anybody, even when you're in relationships. You're the dogs. At least when we're dogs, right? We're not pinning a child on you. How about that? Right? How about it's you guys? How about it's you guys who have had so much sex that you can't even bond anymore? You can't even attach to your mates. She said men are dogs. Miss Gail, I mean this respectfully. What is your body count? Throw me a number out there. Since men are dogs. I want to see. Oh my gosh. Miss Sherry Armstrong is the black woman who was supposed to be one of the good black women. Look what she just said. In this thing called life, you better have a backup plan. I'm not going to say what the truth is, ma'am, because you look older, so I'm going to respect you, but there's a name for people who think and move like that when it comes to relationships. No. I didn't ask you how old you are, Miss Gail. I said, what's your body count? Since men are dogs. What is your body count? How many men have you been with? Since men are dogs. Right? There's no need in even asking that question. She's not going to be honest. But listen, these are the significant reasons why blacks and whites can never truly be friends. They don't inherit the trauma from slavery, segregation, or systematic violence. And if you get really close to a white person, they won't acknowledge that you deal with these things. Their history is taught as America being great, not America hurting them. The system was built to work for them, not against them. They are taught individualism. Everyone is responsible for themselves. They don't see racism until it's extreme. Their children are given the benefit of doubt, right? They don't wake up thinking about race. What you say, Reg? Look, Jacqueline said, I don't get that. I don't know who that's referring to. See what I'm saying? One of my coworkers told me I had a victim mentality for calling out racism. And it can even be a valid call out. That's why blacks and whites will never be able to be true friends. I don't know how you got blocked. I didn't block you. How have you been blocked from commenting and you just commented that you've been blocked? But there's a lot, there's a different lived reality when it comes to black people and white people, right? They don't have to code switch. They trust institutions naturally. To have a friendship, you need understanding. But how do you understand what you've never had to survive? White people have not had to survive our reality. Now let's talk about the reality most black Americans grow up in. The experience white people rarely understand. Descendants of slavery, generational terror, Jim Crow trauma still affects. Listen, it still has effects. Crack flooding our communities deliberately. Then mandatory minimum sentencing took our fathers and our mothers away. Usually women don't get as harsh as sentences. Yeah, I agree. I agree, official. I don't think it's nothing it's okay for us to be friendly towards each other, but you'll never be able to fully 100%. If you didn't grow up with them most of your life from elementary school, I don't think you can trust a white person like that. Not like that. What? I know that's not a serious question. She said, oh, she said, who do you? Oh, she said, who do you think has a higher body count? Men or women? Well, she asked a respectful question. But Miss Gail, by far it's women. Do you know how difficult it is for men to have sex? Do you know how difficult it is? Tinder, Plenty of Fish, and OkCupid released the data on their sites. And listen, did you know a obese, average-looking woman gets 3 times the interaction as a handsome man? You guys have a vajayjay for. I'm just saying. There's a woman who came up on this very show and said she's been with over 900 men 3 weeks ago. But listen, let's get back to the show. They don't white America doesn't know what mandatory minimum sentences, how it took our fathers and our mothers away. Police interactions feel like trifling with death. Redlining trapped families in underfunded areas, right? Schools push black kids to suspension or over counseling. Listen, the music industry intentionally promoted violence and promiscuity in our community. Government surveillance, COINTELPRO, attacked black leadership. Black men portrayed as criminals instantly. Black women portrayed as hypersexual. Medical distrust from the Tuskegee experiments and things like that, forced sterilizations, right? General anxiety, hypervigilance, and survival thinking. Facebook blocked you? I don't even have any moderators on Facebook. You must have said something crazy. She's just trying to argue now. If the woman is promiscuous, then it should be easy for men to be too. How? We can't touch as many women. You may give me some, but what after that? Right? Listen, they did a study and suggested that being black is the equivalent of having a felony as it pertains to job hunting. Listen, code switching is required to function professionally in today's society. Black people have less trust in institutions, the burden of being judged as a collective instead of individuals, black trauma mistaken for aggression, black pain minimized or dismissed, right? We all know it's true. Black success treated as rare instead of normal, right? With all of that in our history, you could see why friendship has obstacles between blacks and whites. There's even an empathy gap. Empathy is built on shared experience, and black and white America don't share the same experiences by far. By far. White people often can't empathize with the fear of police stops. You know how I know this? I come from a place where it's black or white. We don't have all of this diversity, right? Latinos, Asians. We don't have all of that. It was racist where I grew up at. Had Klan marches. When we were in high, we went to school with white people and we were cool with them. So around 19 blah 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 blah, late 1980s, around 1989, around 1988, around 1988. The white girls, when they start getting cars, they started coming over to our hood. Like, when I say our hood, it was typically 3,000 blacks where I'm from, seriously. But it was concentrated. That whole side of town was where the blacks were. They started coming over there, kicking it with us, right? And you know what caught us off guard? When we would be in the car with them, we're going to get somebody to cop liquor for us, things like that, or just hanging out. When we would get pulled over, they couldn't grasp it. They would be like, what the F are you doing? They're not even doing anything. They couldn't grasp that. They couldn't grasp getting pulled over. It was normal to us. We was like, oh, they just, we look at it like they just doing their job, pulling niggas over. Because that's what we get. That's what we used to. And white people can't empathize with the things that we have to endure. Living under constant suspicion, right? Being punished harshly for the same offenses that others go get rehab for. Growing up in destabilized communities. Being portrayed as dangerous. Trauma-induced behavior. Hypervigilance. Being denied opportunities silently, right? Generational poverty from international policies. I'm sorry, generational poverty. We call it, I don't like using it like this. What the heck? We call it generational curses. It's not generational curses, really. It's bad behaviors passed down from person to person to person due to what was done to us, right? Black people often can't empathize with the absence of racial consciousness. Black people can't often empathize with being able to trust institutions, living without ancestral trauma. We don't know what it's like to live without these things. We don't know what it's like growing up as the cultural baseline, not having to represent the whole race. We don't know what that feels like, right? We don't know what it's like not feeling attacked by uncomfortable truths. We don't know. This is where friendships fall apart. Empathy requires understanding. Understanding requires exposure, right? Exposure requires listening. But most people don't listen, especially when it's in their head that you're acting like a victim right now, right? Listen to Charlie Kirk. He said there's no such thing as white privilege. Yep, I agree, Brand. I agree. Yep. And you won't either. I appreciate that, Kendrick. Yep, I agree. Listen, to us, it's a form of racism when you say there's no such thing as white privilege. We see that like you just got to be racist. You actually kind of got to be a bad person, to be honest. It's disrespectful to all of the pain and afflictions that are executed by white privilege upon black people. There's a significant power imbalance. You cannot have equal friendships where there is no equal power. How can you? Black people inherit trauma, unequal protection, general instability, criminalization, cultural sabotage. For those of you who don't believe that we experience cultural sabotage, look at it. White America has stuck a straw in us and siphoned out all of our greatness. Look, can you imagine all of the inventions that were stolen from slaves? Like, imagine you owning 6 slaves, and if you're Benjamin Franklin, whoever you are, imagine, I know what I would do. They always told us 2 heads are better than 1. So you're telling me those slaves had no good ideas? None. Listen, stop the madness. Hey, Chris. Listen, people, we have not had one show supporter throughout the entire show. I don't know. Listen, the information is down at the bottom of the screen, YouTube. Support the show so we can keep this thing going. Do you know how much research goes into this? I appreciate the love. Listen, I'm telling you. Listen, think about it. It would be like, it would be amazing to have 5 or 6 slaves or something like that. You think they don't have mouths? You think they don't have brains? You're telling me they didn't have any ingenuity. They just have any ideas, nothing. Yep. Gail said she knows the difference. I appreciate it, Benton. Listen, hey, officials said a white guy would lose his mind living as a black person. I'm telling you, it's bad. And listen, a lot of the people who we call sellouts and things like that, what's his name? Officer Tatum, Myron. You know what? Listen, when we see black people shift over and try to be white, I understand why. It's so painful and uncomfortable being black in America to where some of us have a higher pain threshold. Some of us have that I'm standing on business, like you have to take my life, right? But the people who don't have as high of a pain threshold, the people who aren't as proud to be black to the point where they'll stand up and push their chest out, those are the people who they hit their pain threshold and they snapped. And they started believing that if I just pretend to be white, white people will accept me, right? They'll view me as one of them, things like that. Myron has gotten his card pulled a couple times. Fresh got called the N-word on their own show. Listen, you will never be white. You will never be accepted as white. You really just look foolish to the world because even the whites look at you like you're a sellout. They don't understand that. You think white people don't know that you're a sellout, that you're a traitor? You don't have any integrity. That's how they look at you, like you don't have any integrity. Never mind. If you don't understand that, something's wrong with you. I appreciate it, Miss Jacqueline. You guys can hit, if you have PayPal, you can hit the PayPals or the Cash App or the Super Chat on YouTube. Or on Facebook, you can hit the star in the comments. It'll allow you to support the show. Listen, it is. It's very rough being black in America. It really is. Almost every black knows this. Listen, there was a congressman in front of Capitol Hill got racially profiled and pulled over. We've seen judges and things like that get pulled over. I think it was recently, a police chief got pulled over by one of his own deputies. Didn't know it was him. Just it was a black man in the car. Oh, she's in the Netherlands. I appreciate it, Miss Sherry. Listen, America hates black people. America hates black people. Me, I couldn't do this to white people. The things that black people endure, with the conscience, I couldn't do it to white people, Asian people, none. I couldn't give somebody 50 years. Listen, you give somebody 50 years for this? For this? You give somebody 50 years for that? You got to be a bad person. You got to be a bad person. Okay. I appreciate it, Chris. What's Jay down there talking about? Jay said, I don't want your pity. Who you talking about? Okay, so who said that? Ricky said, my brother said, white people have no idea that there's a such thing as white privilege. They refuse to acknowledge it. No, they know it exists, but here's the thing. They can't say it out loud because they would have to acknowledge some of our behavior that they see, and then they'd have to execute empathy towards us. So instead of executing empathy towards us, they get to dumbass black N-words, right? They get to look at us like villains instead of saying what the crack epidemic did to them, destroyed a lot of them all the way down to multitudes of generations. They can't say that. Shout out to Gusto up in this situation, supporting the show with the super chat up in this mother. I appreciate the love. Yes, I know for a fact America hates white black people. What more do they have to do to show you? My God. Jeez. Yes. We can list the okay, so imagine this. Imagine this. I want to do this. I want to do this. I want individuals of you. What would Stacey Prince have to do to you? Name some of the things that I would have to do to you to make you think that I hate you. Watch, I'm going to read them off. I'm going to read them off. What would I have to do in order for you to believe Stacey Prince hates you? It could be multitudes of things. Just name them. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Anything that you could name that a person would think a person who done it to them hates them, white America. Let me say it better. Anything that you can name that is associated with hating someone, white America has done it to black people. Listen, do you know what it takes? I think the judicial system is the worst part. They're getting us out of there with that thing. They're getting us out of there with that thing. Look, rob me of my history. That's diabolical. Smithsonian institutions being shut down. That's diabolical. You steal somebody's history from them? That's diabolical. Listen, this is what I'm going to tell you guys. Even the criminalization, cultural sabotage, systematic obstacles. But here's what white people inherit: security, benefit of doubt, institutional trust, economic head starts, positive representation. Right? We know that this is true. Even when both people have good intentions, the imbalance leaks into the relationship. The imbalance leaks into the relationship. And here's why individual friendships can work, but collectively can't. Individual friendships happen because people can rise above the system, you know? I think somebody outside my window or something. Give me a second, people. Give me a second. We got some pirates. Well, even if not, how about we open the door? School is in session, people. School is in session. But you know I do gotta. I apologize, people. We gotta get that crystal clear focus back intact, right? Right. I gotta use the phone to do that, Chris. I'm telling you, it's bad being black in America. It really is. Listen, those of you on on Instagram, I want you guys to come on over to YouTube on The Real Stacey Prince. Rock with us. Listen, I have over 2,000 full-length shows ranging from when women lose attraction to their man, the signs that you can tell, to just all kinds of, you know what I mean? We have over 2,000 shows over there, 2 to 3 hour shows. We pulled off, it was an accident. A 16-hour show with 5 ratchets came on there to attack me, right? So yeah, those of you on Instagram, if you rock with the content, some of the things of mine that you see on Instagram, the full length aspects of them are on YouTube. So come on over there, rock with us, hit that subscribe button. We are out of here. Can you see? Did it? We're going to start this thing. I don't want to keep it. Eat up too much space in my. Let's get back to TikTok.
I used to be addicted to playing with myself.
Let's go. People, we have had one show supporter, people. We are definitely not close at all to hitting our $50 a night threshold. We need show supporters to keep this thing going, people. We have been up here for 2 hours. And you know we end the shows at 2 hours if we don't have any show support. Too much goes into this show. You don't know how much. I'll show you how much. That's how much goes into this show, so that I know that the information I'm giving you guys is. No sound on YouTube. Yeah, I got sound over here. We're going to wrap this show up probably, people. Tick tock, you don't stop. What's going on? We had to mess with Instagram a little bit tonight, people. I want you guys to look at the title. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you disagree. Look, Jess said, why not? I have black friends and we are close. Shout out to King over here in this mother for keeping the show going. Said, why not? I have black friends. Well, look up the definition for friends. You know what I mean? Like a great deal of empathy. A person has to be able to have empathy for the things that you've been through. A person has to be able to hear you out without saying that you're being a victim. Like, yeah. It's as a collective. And just so you know, you can Google this. You can do your own research, and even the research from Google will let you know that as a collective, blacks and whites can never be friends. We can be friendly towards each other, cordial towards each other, nice towards each other. But I mean, just think about it. Look what already happens. When black people discuss their plights, most white people call them victims and things like that. You know, one of the greatest disrespects is when they say that white privilege doesn't exist. That's a huge disrespect to black people, seeing how we suffer from it every day. What's that? That's not, listen, trust me, that's not the way black people wish it was. Black people naturally seek to get along. We naturally seek to get along. That's why we don't, when things happen to us, we don't go all hairy-carry and go do things to white Americans. But individual friendships can happen because people can rise above the system, right? But collective friendships between blacks and white, that requires a nation to rise above the system. And America never healed. America never healed. Now we're going to talk about what type of relationships are possible between blacks and whites, right? This is where we pivot to clarity. This is what we can do. We can have cooperative relationships, respect, and mutual benefit without deep emotional merging, right? We can have that. We can have familiar acquaintances, friendly, warm, and positive, but surface level relationships, strategic partnerships. Did you know that Silicon Valley has already admitted that it has to do better as it pertains to giving black founders investments? I appreciate it, Jacqueline. Yeah, it's tough, Jay. It's tough. Being black in America is tough. When you're in certain settings, you even if they don't, you feel like people think in a certain way about you just because of your history and what's been demonstrated to us. You know that the police don't like you. You know that. America, listen, blacks are the only people in America who do not belong to a country that protects them, who do not belong to a country that loves them. Now, we all know that. I hope America has not shown black people that it loves black people. America has not shown black people that it is in black people's best interest. None of those things. None of those things. I tell people this. America hates black people. It hates black people. So much systems. Real life. See, my businesses, it took a while, but systems had to be in place in my businesses because it was chaotic at first. Systems, even organizing systems had to be put in place. Systems are like gears. Systems are like gears that are churning, keeping this thing in place. America, okay, he says, no, it doesn't. Well, come up here and talk to me. Oh, he's got one follower. That's a troll. I hate trolls. I'm not going to lie. We're going to start this thing, all right. If you name any of the things that if someone did it to you, anything that someone could do to you that would make you think they hate you, America has already done it to black people over and over and over and over again. When black people get popped up by cops, it's like 30 times. Amadeo Diallo got shot. He got hit 40-something times. Laquan Martin, when he was in Illinois, I think, they were on the freeway. I think he was 25 feet away from all of them, and they had him in a horseshoe formation. They kept firing at him even once his body hit the ground. And this isn't to demonize white America at all. It's, it's just acknowledging what's going on. All we are doing is acknowledging, because once you people know, then you can maneuver around better in America once you know, right? And that's what's important, knowing. Just so you guys know, when people attempt to refute my information, but you won't come up, I view you as cowards. Deep in my heart, I know that you're cowards. Just so you know. And you should know that you're cowards. Shout out to Jerry Maybe in this situation supporting us on TikTok. We're going to start this thing, all right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Tell me how your day is going. I can't even hear you.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Tell me how your night is going.
I'm doing good, bro.
Good, good. So what's your thoughts on the show?
First time up, can you explain exactly why the reasoning behind the topic?
I mean, there's actually data on it. Literally. There's data on this. Like the data that I pulled up, even Google will suggest that due to the intensity of our past and our lived realities, like black people and white people have two completely different black people and everybody, black people have a different lived reality than everybody in America. Like we are siphoned. Like what I mean when I say that we are siphoned, it's like someone sticks a straw in us and siphons all of the music has been stolen from us. Like Elvis Presley, like black people have been abused at the highest levels. And here's what some of the greatest form of abuse is. When you haven't been here, this show has been on for 2 hours, and so we've talked about it. But some of the greatest abuse, the reason why blacks and whites can never be friends, not friends, according to the definition. We can be friendly, we can be cordial, we can be respectful and things like that. But the things that have happened to black people, when you express them and someone says you have a victim mentality, that's like a form of racism by itself, because it's discounting how hard it is and how unpleasant and painful it is to live in America when you're black. Do you disagree?
Not necessarily. I just never heard of the. I do agree that black people have obviously had a lot of culture, music, like you were saying. Um, uh, spiritual expression.
Yeah.
So
Listen, when we go into courtrooms, there's studies on this. When we go into courtrooms for the same crime as someone of different color, who the outcome is not the same. The outcome's not the same. Like they flooded our in the 1980s. They flooded the CIA. They don't deny it. There's you can just get online. It's not denied. The CIA flooded the black communities with the most highly addictive system that we've seen. And then when black people touched it, they gave them 50 and 200 years in prison. So people talk about the fatherless children and stuff. Well, you stole our fathers. Now, black women played a great role in it as well. Black women betrayed us as well, when it came to Section 8 and latching on to the government and accepting all of his goodies. That's why a lot of African American women right now were panicking when EBT was being threatened, because they looked at the American government as their husbands. A lot of black women married the American government and got rid of black men. You can even look that up. So to be honest, I think one of the greatest travesties was black women turning their backs on black men. Because if black women hadn't have turned their backs on black men, we'd be strong enough to resist the systematic racism that's taking place. Our children would turn out better. We would be breeding politicians. We would be breeding architects. But what we have right now, we don't have communities or families. We have women with children.
Right. So would you even say this would extend into even a religious context or just overall?
Yes, most definitely. Yes. I have my faith in Jesus Christ, but the truth of the matter is everything about us has been wiped. Like, you see they shutting down the Smithsonian, right? They're literally removing. When Donald Trump said he was shutting it down, guess what his reasoning was? He said, I don't want the generations coming after us to view us as evil. Well, the truth is, did you or did you not do these things? You know what I mean?
Well, of course, they did.
Give me a second, brother. Miss Porcelain Barbie.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Tell me how your night is going.
It's going great. I hope your holiday was great. I did a lot of cooking, so I hope you ate good too.
You know it. I had me a couple of plates, right?
They took everything from my house. No leftovers for me. I was mad.
They got good sense.
I was mad about it.
Tell me what you think. Listen, let me ask you a question. From what has been shown, we just talk. That's what we do on the show too. We don't do a lot of hypothesizing. We talk about what we can prove. Now, from what has been done, what has been shown, do you believe that America hates black people?
I think, can you hear me? Because it was a delay on your part.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So I don't think America hates black people.
Okay.
And I get a lot of pushback from this because I think about primitive times when my grandmother, I have two grandmothers, one's 80 and the other one's 81, and they both used to pick cotton. And they told me that a pound of cotton was worth $2.
Mm-hmm.
So if they can have the forgiveness not to have disdain for white people, still speak to them, not disgruntled when they was actually in the fields picking cotton, I don't understand why our people, or my generation, is still holding on to those feelings.
Okay, hold on. I think you got it wrong. I think you probably misunderstanding me or something. I'm not talking about something that happened a long time ago. I'm talking about something that is continuing to happen every day.
Oh, well, yes. Banking, yes. We have disadvantages.
Yeah, everywhere.
Discriminating in banking.
Listen.
Criminal justice. Mass incarceration, yes.
Yes, mass incarceration is bad. It's really, really bad.
Stacey, who's locking each other up? You cannot have, you can blame the judge, but right now, it's a lot of people, as they call it, snitching. on a lot of other people dragging innocent people into the
Yeah,
court
but
system with
that's not.
conspiracies
Listen, that's not
of
the.
law.
Listen, that's not the court. Do you know that black men have the highest criminal overturn rate? This is just, do you know how long black guys been getting dope and all kind of stuff planted on them? Just planted, literally planted. The cops have gotten busted. They got books on this. Like, and then the cops will just get fired from their job after this person has done 7 years in prison. But listen, let's get away from that. Let's
No,
get away.
I mean,
Listen, do you know that as far as redlining and things like that, do you know why our schools are so bad? Because they intentionally get less funding. Do you think that it's a coincidence that African American women have the highest birth? I can't say it on here, but giving birth and you not surviving the birth. You know what I'm talking about?
deleting.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, no. I'm talking about if a black woman goes to the hospital to give birth to a baby, she has the highest rate of not surviving it. Flint, Michigan. You think that was an accident? Like, listen. It just doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. None of this stuff stops. Like, listen. So there's a white woman who did this study. Well, multiple of them did, but was that Harvard? I forget where it was at. But and you're probably familiar with this. Did you know that when resumes are shot in, if they have black sounding names, they put that resume to the bottom of the pile?
Yes, I'm familiar with that. They dispose of it for sure. They do.
Listen,
But
those same
also,
studies say that same study suggested that being black as it pertains to the workforce is the equivalent of having a felony.
okay, what about, not trying to like deflect you from your point, but
Speak
what
your piece.
about
Speak your piece.
when you're being black and you seek black employment, not saying black employment as a color, but when you go to your fellow black and you ask for help, they may be in a position of power. Some of those people don't help you either.
It's not safe. It's not safe for
A
them
lot of
to.
those people don't help. A lot of those people don't help you either. A
It's
lot
not
of those
safe for them
people
to
is
help
black
you.
people that's in prominent. So
I
who
don't
can
want to
we
live in a
blame when you
predominantly
get
black area.
certain people in?
Do you?
Me either. I don't. And
We're
that's
messed
my
up.
point.
We're messed
Absolutely
up.
not. Absolutely not.
Listen, if
And
I
that's
tell
my
you,
whole thing with you with the prompt.
we got a hell of a delay going on. But I'm just go ahead.
Yeah, it's very delayed. You want me to drop down and come
Yeah,
back
drop
up?
down and come
Is
right
that
back up.
cool?
Jay,
Okay.
Yes, sir.
what's your thoughts?
No, I agree with like I do agree. See more of what you're saying. Like I've read a lot of different books on this topic myself, like Willie Lynch letter, and I've done a
Brother,
lot of
it's
research myself
bad.
into.
It's really bad being black, man. Because listen, when our grandmothers experienced something, they passed it down to our mothers. You get your black, bald head, ugly ass in there and do that homework. It got passed down. And the reason that our grandmothers
Right.
that developed that behavior was the harsh circumstances that they experienced. Like, we have generational stuff being passed down. Our moms are messed up. Messed up. And so when Porcelain Barbie came up here, it's easier. I'm not saying that's what she's doing, but it's easier for us oftentimes to pretend that high levels of racism isn't thwarted towards blacks than it is for us to acknowledge it. Because if we acknowledge it, you can go into a depression. You can really go to a place of fear, to be honest. Think about this. The black people that we know who are trying to pretend to be white and things like that, like Officer Tatum and Myron Gaines, people like this, they acknowledge the harshness of what it's like. Listen, there is nothing that America has done to make blacks feel like they will protect us. There's nothing that America has done to make black people think that they have our back. There is nothing that America has done to to prevent us from feeling like we belong to a country that doesn't love us. America does not love black people. I really can't see. I pride myself on being a very impartial man. Hold on, is that my people hot rod down there? That's my people right there. I think this. I think you know what. You know what? I've never put this into words before, but this is the perfect example. Another issue that we have is if we keep it real and say out loud the truth, it sounds so bad that other people don't want you to say it. They say you have a victim mentality, even though we know all of this stuff is true. It's true. They're still lynching black people. I think the earliest was a month ago. They found that boy hanging from that bridge set on fire. When Charlie Kirk lost his life to another white man, historically black colleges got bomb threats. Listen, I want you to hear something.
When Charlie Kirk was assassinated, I lost it. I was extremely emotional. Mr. President,
Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and turn this around so you guys can actually see it. I usually don't do that. Listen, people, where my show supporters at? I'm putting in extra work over here. There she is. Okay, I'm going to show you guys something real quick. Let me see something. We're going to start this thing all right. This was when Charlie Kirk lost his life by another white man, might I add.
When Charlie Kirk was assassinated, I lost it. I was extremely emotional. Mr. President, I implore you, call for a civil war. Call for a civil war and let us do our thing. Let us go door to door, street by street, and clean this country.
What do you think he meant when he said, let us go door to door? You think he meant go to white people's door? No. He's talking about strategically wiping black people. But let's go.
I let social media and my emotions get the better of me, and I made a video talking about civil war. I posted a video the next day asking the president to call for civil war. Let's try to get this video in front of Donald Trump, in front of President Trump, excuse me. Sir, you took the same oath as millions of veterans in this country, over 13 million veterans in this country, most of whom are conservative. We took the same oath to defend our country against all enemies, foreign and domestic. These leftists are our enemies. This is no longer left versus right. This is good versus evil. You have, give or take, 3 years left. If you call for a civil war, the conservative veterans in this country will take our country back from the evil left. You know, I fucked up. I shouldn't have never posted it. I don't want a civil war.
You don't want a civil war. Well, there's a race war coming. There's nothing like, I tell people this all of the time. There's definitely a race war coming. Too many people have been trying to pop it off, right? But I'll say this. There's a lot of black people who are scared of the race war. So they lie to themselves about it and try to pretend that it's not real, when in actuality, they tried to pop it off when Charlie Kirk lost his life. A white person took Charlie Kirk's life. Historically, black colleges got bomb threats. Like, I think you guys don't know the extent that America really doesn't like black people. You can't really name anything amazing that's been done for black America. Can you, Porcelain Barbie? Name me something amazing America has done for black people to let black people know we love you.
Freedom. We're not slaves anymore, giving us the right to vote.
Oh, you talking about the people who put us into slavery?
Giving us freedom. Hey, we can go back, Stacey, and say the people that put us into slavery, but we can also link it to the people that actually sold us.
No, because slavery is not a bad thing.
So I mean, we can go there.
No, slavery is not necessarily a bad thing.
Sometimes, this plantation.
Listen, slavery is not necessarily a bad thing.
We had more unity before.
Listen, let me ask you something. You're conservative, aren't you?
Yes.
You know why I said that? I'm nothing. I pride myself on being very impartial. From my experience with conservatives, it's like it's hardcore drive, and they refuse to see any other. And I'm not saying that's you, but it's really hard. It's radical. It's high level radical. So you probably should. And listen, you will never be attacked up here. I value your opinion, and I just want to hear it. Let me ask you this: are you a Charlie Kirk supporter? Because afterwards, I'm going to ask you a question about one of his ideologies and see if you support it.
Oh my God, Stacey, I support almost 98% of the stuff that you talk about.
No,
So
no, I'm just asking you:
the
do you
thing that
support
happened to
Charlie
Charlie
Kirk?
Kirk, and I'm gonna be real.
No, no, no. I'm not talking about his take. I'm talking
Absolutely,
about.
but let me tell you why.
Talk to me.
Okay, let me tell you why. I don't know, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I was not familiar with any of Charlie Kirk's speeches. I didn't even know anything about Charlie Kirk prior
Right.
to the horrific thing that actually happened. So me as a woman and in my feminine energy, seeing such gruesome, gut wrenching pictures like that.
Hey, you cutting out. You cutting out. We can't hear anything you're saying. We can't hear anything.
I don't know. I have all my bars.
I want to hear this. Don't stick a knife in my back, pull it out 6 inches, and call it progress. Right? Listen, people, we got a hot show today, man. We should have more support than this. Where my cash at, people? Let's support the show, people.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I actually hear you clearer now. We're talking
Okay,
about Charlie
went on
Kirk.
my page. Okay, can you hear me now? I said, so from what I was saying is, I didn't get to see any of Charlie Kirk's speeches. I wasn't even familiar with him prior to the incident that occurred
Right.
in public. Me being a woman, it was very gruesome. It was very gut wrenching. So my empathy and sympathy came to the forefront of it all. So I can't unsee it, and I'm not, I'm very apologetic for what happened to him, and that's as far as my empathy and sympathy goes with the whole situation. I don't care if he was black, white, it would be the same thing. Seeing
On a
something like
scale
that
of
was so
1 to
gruesome.
10, how much did it? How much hurt did you have over it?
After seeing something like that, I would say a 7 because
Okay.
I was disconnected from him. Like, I don't know him, but I mean, it did affect me because I can't unsee what I saw.
No doubt. I think the visual probably affected a lot of people more so than anything. I'm a man, it didn't bother me that much. Because how could it bother me that much if I have never, and it's a shame, but I've never cried over Malcolm X, right? I didn't cry over Martin Luther King. I didn't cry over Amadeo Diallo, even though I love them, right? I didn't cry over Amadeo Diallo. Did you see the movie with Michael B. Jordan, Fruitvale Station? See, this is what I'm saying. It just, in America, it is branded that a white death is more important than a black one. It's branded that way. It's almost branded like we deserve it more than white people deserve it. Do you disagree?
Um, yeah, I disagree 100% because I feel as though the unalivings within our community makes us desensitized from it when we actually encounter it because we seem more hypocritical because we have more outrage when a YT person unalive us than when someone of our same ethnicity or color, melanin, unalive us. We don't have that much outrage. Me, again, I'm an intuitive thinker. I tell people this all the time. If I'm ever unalive, please pursue justice for me being unalive and not because of the color of somebody else's skin. I'm pretty sure if we go to the graveyard and we ask the people hypothetically speaking, are you mad that a white person unalived you, or are you mad that a black person unalived you? And I wouldn't care.
I'd
They're
rather
just
be
gonna.
taken out by a black person.
You see how that sounds though? I'd rather be taken out by a black person.
Here's why.
I'd
Here's
rather
why.
not be
Here's
taken-
why. Why did the white person take my life? What's tied to it? I'm
Why
not
did a black
bothering you.
person take your life?
Did
Why did a black
psychological
person take your life?
the highest levels of psychological damage and dysfunction, funding not being put into our neighborhood. Listen, you can get you know what? I'll do it right now. I'll show you.
No, I don't want to make you mad.
Oh no, stop
I'm
it.
not
Stop it. It's not that deep. I just want to show you something. I want to show you what research. Listen, anybody get on Grok or Chat GPT. See, because I keep telling you, I'm very impartial. I just want the truth. I don't want any side to be right or wrong. So I wanted to know why black people, because I wanted to do something about it. I wanted to know why black people are taking each other's lives at such disproportionate rates, right? And I was actually blaming black people, to be honest. When I did the research, let me pull this up. Where's it at? I want to show you what Grok said. There it goes, I think. Okay. I said this. I understand that violence is high level and rampant in areas like South Central Los Angeles. I need you to identify to me what the core reason based on research and historical data. You see how I put that in there? Based on historical data. That's what I like, and research. Historical data of African Americans taking each other's lives so effortlessly in cities like Los Angeles, things like that. Now look what Grok said. The short answer, it's not that black people are effortlessly taking each other's lives. The core driver, based on decades of research, is concentrated, man-made disadvantages in specific neighborhoods created by racism, segregation, economic abandonment, plus GUNs and gangs on top of that. But hold on. The violence in black American cities like Los Angeles is mostly the result of government and market decisions that packed black families into few areas, starved those areas of jobs and investments, flooded them with DRUGSs and GUNs, and then policed them harshly instead of repairing them. I'm going to break that down for you. Imagine this. Imagine I go to Beverly Hills and I flood them with opioids, like what just happened to them. I flood them with opioids. And then listen, I tell, there's 54 people on here right now. I tell all 54 of these people, listen, you are now deputized. Anytime you see that white substance that we just flooded that community with, take them to jail for 50 years. Do you have any clue what that did? They gave me personally, they gave my mom 75 years in prison. So yes, I'm messed up. You think I'm not messed up behind that? But see, when we say it out loud, it's viewed as us being victims. That is a generational incident. It's generational. Because now me, I'm what you would call exceptional by the grace of God. I moved my children 2,000 miles away where they would have a fighting chance. I started my life over. But that's because of my thinking, right? I have millions of people who listen to me, which suggests that I'm not where the average person would be. So if I was where the average person would be, I would have probably fallen into, it's systematic. It doesn't happen. One thing doesn't just happen. We are bombarded. Listen, there was some people that came where I'm from. Where I'm from is 2,000 black. It was 2,500 blacks, place of 40,000 people, period. Some of these people from Chicago, they heard about the plants that we had down there, the Chrysler, Delco, with a lot of money. So they brought that white substance down there, right? And some of them were known for having bodies. They say, so-and-so right there, he's taken out 3 people in Chicago. This one right here. You know what we noticed? Those guys who were said to be hardcore KILers, when they came to where we're from, they stopped doing it. They said, man, we can't date white girls where we from. These Negroes got jobs. So when you put someone, when you take them out of a sense of urgency, when you put them in an environment where they can thrive, they will. Do you disagree with that?
Yes, I disagree with what you were saying because I feel like um poverty is a mentality. There was somebody in the comments that
Oh
mentioned something
my
that
God.
said black
So you don't
failure.
believe in product of your environment?
I don't believe in product in
Oh,
your environment
Jesus
because I was
Christ.
raised in the hood. I was raised in the hood, and the thing about it is you have to have discipline. You know, if you're taught right from wrong, don't smoke, don't drink, don't have sex without a condom, get on birth control, stuff like that, you should avoid a lot of things.
We had this
You can.
conversation
A
day
lot of
before
people.
yesterday. I want to ask you something. So I know what your answer is about to be, and it's going to be crazy. Did you know?
Crazy.
It's going to be, watch. You know how you
But
can,
can I ask
hold
you
on.
one thing?
Hold on. You know how you can take a light bulb, drop it in, and it will break? Do you believe human beings can break? The government believes it.
I feel
The
like
government believes it. That's why certain people
I
can
don't.
go into a trial and they'll deem him not competent enough to stand trial.
I feel like there's some exceptional humans. Like, do I believe that every man can turn GAY? No,
Jesus Christ, this
because
is bad.
no. Listen to me. I'm an intuitive thinker. You want me to have this one track mind? You ask me a question.
I
Do I
don't. To
believe
be
human
honest with you,
beings
I
can
don't even
break?
know if I want
And
to
my
hear anymore.
mentality.
This is bad. This is horrific.
No, but in my mentality, you know why I feel like a man cannot
Jesus
break? Because
Christ.
I don't feel like if a man is true to his sexuality, no other man can entice him. So no, in that theory, with me believing that way, no, a human
You
being
don't
cannot
believe
break. A
some
man will
kids have
not be.
been pumped in the butt by their dads?
Yeah, I believe. Yes, absolutely, I believe that someone can take advantage of someone.
And how do you think that child will turn
But you
out?
asked me a direct.
How do you think that child will turn out?
We we can give exception to every
Oh my
extremity in life.
God.
When I thought about that question, you asked me a question. You can say, "Do I believe a human being can be broken?"
I'm going to be
I'm not
honest
in my
with you. I'm going to
feelings.
be honest with you.
He asked me a question.
I swear to God on everything, this was my most heartbreaking show. I'd like to hope no black person in the world thinks like this. So you really believe everything is up to us and we can will ourselves to do better? That's what you really believe that? You don't believe some people are mentally ill?
Yes, I believe that some people are genetically modified and they are mentally ill. Yes, I do believe that. But I believe that from religious, you know, my religious belief is, you know, if you're not equally yoked with people, you're gonna have a certain type of product you produce. If you're having a lustful child, if you alcoholism, if you're opioid addicted, your kid can turn out as those type of things. So what are we talking about? Are we talking about the debilitated and dysfunction of life, or are we talking about the normalities of people? Because we can go to extremes of everything and find something there to make somebody's point valid.
I'll
So
be honest
what are
with
we
you. I
talking
don't even
about?
know what to say, to be honest, because I don't believe anything you'll hear will. I told you I've experienced that. Like, I don't think there's anything that you can hear that you give credence to. Like, most conservatives are like that.
I did. I said a human being can. I
You said you
can you
grew up
answer
in
my
the
question?
hood. Do you know
Can a
do you
heterosexual
listen?
man?
Hold on. Do you know what the hood really is? You couldn't have grown up in it thinking like this.
Yeah, I have some of my relatives have had 30-year sentences and they didn't break. So you think after a certain amount of time they should have broke stuff
Did they?
like
Hey,
that?
did
They
they go to
haven't broke.
Did they go to prison more than once? The recidivism rate in America in
Yeah.
certain of these places, exactly. The recidivism rate is 30. So they did break. They call that insanity. You disagree with that?
Interesting perspective.
She said that's
No,
her perspective.
it's
Look it
interesting.
up. Look it up. The recidivism rate amongst black people is 73%. Meaning from the time, and they can track this because they know your name. They know that it's called the intake. They know when you leave. They know when you
So
come back. They listen. Within 2 years of most black men leaving, they're reincarcerated. You don't think that's breakage?
so no, I mean, yes, that's breakage for us, for say, like we can look at it that way, you and I can. But like, you haven't answered my question. I said, if a human being can break, shall we classify all men as bisexual or gay? Can a man have his sexuality broken?
I don't understand you. What do you mean? What's that got to do with breaking? I don't get what you're saying.
Because the only way that you can break a man, is through sodomizing a man, right? So
Oh my God. Hold on. I gotta make
yeah, no,
sure.
that's
Hold on. I gotta make sure I heard you. You told me, do you literally mean that that's the only way a man can be broken is sodomizing?
absolutely, yes, I do.
Sweetie, you're ruined.
Hmm.
I feel horrible for you. Are you married?
I mean, the music industry, the music, yes, I am. The music industry is breaking men through this, ritual. It's the most sought out thing in
You
the
told
world
me the
right
only
now
way you
for
can get
women.
broke. You told me the only way you can get broken is sodomy. So how can the music industry be breaking men? I'm starting to
Because they're
think you
giving
don't
them
believe the
all
things
they're
that you're
giving.
saying.
No, I definitely believe the things that I'm saying because
Do
if you
you
make a
agree that you
proposition to
told
a man,
me?
hey, I
Do
give
you
you
agree
$1
that you
million.
told me? Do you agree that you told me the only way a man can be breaking is sodomy?
Yes,
But do you also agree you turned around and said the music industry can break a man?
meaning they are
No, I'm
sodomizing
just
men.
asking. I'm just asking you. Do you agree with that? Both
The
of those
music
can't be
industry
true.
in itself is not breaking the person, but the, the indecent proposal that they give certain people is breaking them. You have to do this for this type of thing.
Do you know
You
that
have
you're
an option to
contradicting
be.
yourself within a few seconds? So can a person or can they not be broken outside of sodomy? I don't get what you're saying. Usually when people contradict themselves up here, it's like 4
I feel
minutes
like
away. You're doing it within seconds. I want you to know what you said.
I don't
You,
feel like I'm
listen,
contradicting.
you said the only way that a man can be broken is sodomy. Then you turned around and said the music industry is breaking men. The music industry is not
I was
sodomy.
talking about I was talking about the indecent proposal that they give the men in the music industry to advance.
You don't even know if that's true, sweetie. So you believe Michael Jackson got broken? See, this now it's starting to sound crazy now. Do you think Jay-Z got banged in his butt? Do you think Nas got banged in
I
his
don't
butt?
know.
Do you
I can't
think 50
claim that
Cent
I
got banged in his butt?
at this point. I don't.
Okay, so I know, listen,
I cannot say.
sweetie, it's a
I
good
can't
thing you
say.
got married. I'll
I
say that.
cannot say with 100%. No, but listen, I can't say 100% if anybody's getting banged in their anal cavity. I can't say that with 100%. You can't say if I'm getting banged in mine. You don't know me. I don't know you. So we can leave it
We're
there,
not talking about
right?
us.
But even with these celebrities, all of this stuff that came out about Diddy and all these celebrities, even Charlie Sheen and all of these
Who was
celebrities, I
shocked that
don't
it
put any
came
of
out
this
about?
back.
Who was shocked that it came out about Diddy?
I
Who?
was shocked.
They
I was
had
shocked.
allegations
I was.
15 years ago.
Sir, I was probably too young for that, but I
Hey,
understand.
well, I tell you what, black people just need to be taken out. I'll just put it that way. I agree with you. Take
I'm
them
not
out.
saying that.
Take
I'm
them
not
out.
saying that
Because
black
they're
people.
doing all of this stuff on purpose. There's nothing wrong with black people. You know, I find it very ironic. I find this very ironic that people go to Vietnam wars and they go to Desert Storm wars, and because they have seen things that no human is supposed to have seen, they bring them back over here and give them medications for PTSD. But you say that we're not breaking and damage when we're driving down the street and all of a sudden our best friend's brain matter splats on our face. I find that very ironic that the government agrees more with me than you do. And that's that conservative space. I am telling you, I've seen what that conservative space do. I got a cousin who almost like, listen. I got a cousin who hustled in the streets with us at large levels, was a nigga. We, out of the blue, he started talking like blacks this, black that. And that's what we found out. Like he became a conservative. I mean, that's hey.
So my thing is, you can say and try to critique me on my conservative views, but wasn't it you that said you refuse to stay in a black neighborhood? Correct?
Because I know lots of blacks are broken.
So who's the hypocrite, Stacey? You and me.
You think you just made a point?
No.
You just made my point.
No,
I'm sticking with what I said.
But why don't you want to stay around your own people?
Because blacks are broken, like I've been saying.
So listen.
This is actually a bad argument, and you don't see that? You're making my point. I haven't deviated from my stance. You're making my point. I don't know if you thought that was a gotcha moment or something. I've been saying blacks are broken. But you said they're not. That's a shame. Because I tell you what, if this is a black person thinking this, it lets me know why whites hate us. If they really believe we're just running around doing this with a conscious... Say it again.
I'm black. I'm all the way black.
I think you think that. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm just saying your mind has, been taken to a place. And listen, did you know that they have studies that suggest that your mind can be taken to that place intentionally? Even social media is doing it. Listen, do you believe that the America has committed more atrocities than black people even have the capacity to? And I won't even say atrocities. I'll say high-level evil.
Yes, I believe that. Absolutely.
So, but
when we go back and
why are blacks demonized? Listen, we're only 13%, 14% of the population. Yet 14% of the population has been branded to be more evil than the majority of the population. Around 70%.
It's proximity.
Okay, guess what else is proximity? Did you know that white America consumes 85 to 90% of child PORN? But that's not talked about. Even Charlie Kirk didn't talk about it. Did you ever stop and ask yourself?
I mean, it's definitely needs to be talked about, and the laws need to be changed.
Listen, let me ask you this.
Lethal injection.
You said you was a fan of Charlie Kirk. It never struck you. That he wasn't talking about these little kids sitting in school and out of nowhere. How the hell wasn't that a big talking point? It happened a week before he passed. How are you in black people's business and these schools are getting lit up? Churches are getting lit up on a regular. These young kids in the white community are being trafficked and touched. They're alleging that your president is involved in it. They won't let those files go. Do you believe in white privilege?
I don't know.
I can't even do this anymore.
That was sad.
Yeah, that was really bad, man. That was really bad. I'm really praying that she's going to reach out to me later and say, Stacey, I was just playing. But unfortunately, I think she was dead serious with everything she said. Jeez.
To add to the broken part, like the broken that you were trying to show her, like we know that black, so-called, black women have children out of wedlock at a very, like, the highest rate
Right.
out of any demographic in America. And if that's not a sign of broken,
I agree, brother. I agree. But you know how we know it's breakage? Because no sane group of people does it. Listen, black men are walking up to each other and putting the thing to the side of our heads. You don't think that's breakage? It's not normal.
I agree.
See, but listen, bro, I'm telling you right now, like what I have seen, and I'm not affiliated with any political party. Like I can tell, I'm so impartial. I can name some things that Donald Trump did that I'm actually a fan of. I could name some things that are that liberals do that I'm in favor of. See, when people get radicalized with being conservatives, it's just tunnel vision. It's just tunnel vision. It's like gang banging. You know what I'm saying? Like they can't see any other points of views. They're just radical. That's where all the violence comes from. Democrats don't pop those schools up and things like that. I don't like Democrats because they push a lot of the things that go against my faith. Like they push a lot of the LGBT stuff. They push it hard. They push it up on the kids. So that's why I have a great disdain, you know what I mean, for some democratic beliefs and things like that. Plus, Democrats haven't come up with a system that allows blacks to elevate and start standing on their own. I believe EBT. I believe that I agree with what Donald Trump is doing with EBT. Because if you are an able-bodied person, you should not be laying on your back collecting food stamps. When we have to, we perform at high levels and we become better individuals. So there's like a multitude. I don't have tunnel vision. I can see something viable I don't even care who it is. I can see something viable in something viable. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think she doesn't even believe in product of your environment. That was my worst interview ever out of 4 years. That was my worst interview ever. It was more heartbreaking than it was anything. It was more heartbreaking than it was anything because imagine this. If there really are whites that share her viewpoints, then there's no wonder why we get treated like we do. Because if we're just doing this stuff, she says she thinks before she speaks. Well, let's see. Let's see. Listen, you know what? We're going to do it like this. I want to see what Grok says if systematic. The first word that came up was yes. It's like she has her own definitions and her own, like. Listen, I want to apologize to you, but you did traumatize me. I still had no right to, like, that was a lot for me. That was a lot for me.
I understand.
I had to disconnect from that. Are you aware that you have your own dictionary definitions for things?
No, I'm not aware of it. But you were speaking about systematic racism, and it does affect our community um, on a large scale. I'm very familiar with that.
Listen, I gotta ask you. You
like
really? Go ahead.
Like I said, in banking, we're discriminated with when it comes to like giving business loans and housing market, and also in our legal system as well. So we're discriminated against. But what I was trying to say is, I don't feel like it's beyond a race thing now. I feel like the black man is being attacked. Um, deeper than a black and white thing. You didn't let me finish. I was going to elaborate on that. I feel like you are being replaced with so many other things, the LGBTQ, other ethnicities like Africans, other minorities, Ethiopians, so on and so forth. I feel like the black man exclusively is being attacked. They're pushing this soft life with us to date outside of our race. They want our women to date outside of our race to other men.
What
They
makes you
pushing
think
that
that?
down our
What
throat.
makes you think that when only 14 to 19% of any race dates outside of the race? I don't even know where you got that from, to be honest. What makes you think
I'm
that?
talking more so on the social media platforms, how they push black women. Saying if you date another ethnicity or another race, it'll be better than a black man. So maybe that's just in my feed,
I
but
think you kind of
it's
put
going
that
around. I can
together.
see.
I don't know.
No, I can send you a lot of creators that has millions of followers that tell you to do these things, for sure. And I can send you the content creators in your inbox.
I want you to do
It's
me a
called
favor.
Soft Life.
I want you to do me a favor. I want you to name me
I'm listening.
any white 12-year-olds that have been popped up by the police. Do you think you'll ever be able to name that in history? Do you think you'll ever be able to? Just let's be honest.
Have, no,
Um,
no, never.
what is her name? Sandra. What is it? The one who got popped in the head in her kitchen.
Yeah, Sandra. Um,
Sandra.
I don't know her last name.
Can you think? Do you think that if I gave you an hour, do you think that you can find me anything like that of a white woman getting done like that in America? Because I'll give you the time. Actually,
No,
I'll do it for you. You said no. So that's racism, right?
no, I can't
That's
find
that's
a
not that's
white
not
woman.
that's not discrimination. See, you keep on saying you're using that word discrimination a lot, even with the judicial system. That's not discrimination. That is not. Watch this. I'm going to start pulling these words up when you use them. There we go. The unjust or prejudicial treatment of different categories of people, especially on the grounds of ethnicity, age, sex, or. Do you know how many black people are getting 50 years and things like that in prison opposed to their counterparts for the same crimes? That's racism.
It's a, it's a lot.
That's
It
racism.
is racism. I'm
Well, you
not
keep using that
disagreeing with
word
you,
discrimination, and I think it's. Listen, I got to ask you this. I promise I don't mean
but
disrespect. Do you
but
like.
also, can I
Hold
say
on,
this?
hold on. I want to ask you, and I'm going to believe whatever you say. Do you like black people?
I'm black, of course. Yes, I do. My
Okay, I was
mother's
going to
black. My
say that
father's
doesn't
black.
mean anything. I just had to ask you of your
I
own
mean,
opinion.
why would I not like my own people? Do I feel like we can grow and be great again? Absolutely. We have a 1.9 trillion dollar spending capacity in 2024.
That doesn't
We
matter.
make the
That
stock
that
market.
that doesn't matter. You can be foolish and have a 1.9 trillion dollar spending power.
We can be foolish, but if we channel that foolishness into like this marketing thing umbrella and stop shopping and stop being a consumers, we can actually take over. But that's a whole nother story. Something that we're not going to be able to do.
You know
We can
what's
move
really
on.
crazy is you really are, out of all that black people have went through, you really are labeling most black people as capable. They're walking up to each other and pulling the trigger. You don't think so? The guy who took Nipsey Hussle's life, I often bring this up. You don't think anything was wrong with him to walk out in broad daylight in public and basically say, I'm willing to do the rest of my life in prison. Like me, myself, if that had have been me, I would have figured out a way to where I could do it and get away with it. So it's your perspective that there's not really. Let me ask you this: at a high level of mental illness, what percentage of black people would you say suffer at a high percent of mental illness?
It's probably higher than white people for sure.
What percentage?
Uh, I mean, I can look it up and give you research, but if I can guess off the top of my head, I would probably say about 89, 90%.
You do know what you just said, right? So you're telling
to
me
say that I contradict myself?
yes, you're saying 89% of us are high level mentally ill, but you're asking high level mentally ill people to pull up their bootstraps and create an economic power structure.
So what I'm asking you, what is the solution? If we are around high level mentally ill
Only
people,
a certain portion of us are going to make it. That's the solution. Do you know studies suggest that what a person is doing at the age of 30 to 34 is likely what they'll be doing for the rest of their lives?
I can agree with that.
You said you can't?
I said I can agree with that.
Okay, sweetie. So if it are guys who keep going back and forth to prison, are guys who are actively, listen, a lot of these guys who are saying what they're saying in these rap songs, they're doing it. We're seeing them get wiped off the map even though they have millions of dollars. And that's what I'm telling you. It's like, it's amazing to me that you don't believe humans break. Look at our women. They are atrocities. I wouldn't touch the bulk of them.
So who fault? Who fault is that though?
I'm going to give you a guess. I'll respond to you.
They decided to move the black man. They decided to move the black man out of our house.
I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what we see in them. The Sukihanas, the Glorilla, the Sukihanas. I'm asking you, these women who are really messed up, have you ever heard? So Sukihana did an interview, and she was saying she sold her soul to the devil, right? I'm not gonna get into that. So you believe that black women are behaving the way they're behaving of their own volition? You don't believe there's nothing wrong with them?
Sir, what do you want me to attribute their wrongdoing toward? Like, I don't know. I could say substance use, rugs. I'm sorry, TikTok friendly language, fruits in the chat. Rugs. What do you want me to get? What type of excuse mechanism would you like me to give to them?
Nothing.
Because there's been.
You're right. I believe that we are all. There's nothing wrong with them. They're just making bad decisions.
No, I'm just saying. What type of excuse mechanism you want?
None. I just think they're making bad decisions. I think everybody can do better.
They want to sell cat, and they want to use men, and they know the ramifications that come down in that dark rabbit hole of doing that. So, what type of empathy do you want me to give these people?
I want you to hate them. I don't want you to give them any empathy.
These our young girls are going to truck stops, and our young girls are lot lizard. The CDC just did another research and said 5,000 new cases of the alphabets for our youth that's 18 and younger. They just did a research. They have the alphabets, the H
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're not going to get it.
But I'm just saying, what type of excuse mechanism do you want me to give these people? You want me to say, oh, they already get everything
Black Boy Wonder.
Mental health.
Hey, what's happening, man? Thanks for letting me up.
Tell me how your night's going, brother.
Yeah, it's going good. I'm just, doing some editing.
King Brand, I appreciate the super chat. You doing some editing? What you doing editing on?
Yeah.
What you doing editing on?
Yeah. Couple YouTube channels.
Okay. What you social media manager?
For people, and I also. No, I'm not a manager or nothing like that. I'm just the editor.
Oh, so you edit content.
Yeah, I edit content.
I know you be having migraines. That's a monster right there.
No, not. Yeah, it's a lot of work, but you know what I'm saying? I've been doing this for a while. I used to do it for other people when it came to like weddings and stuff like that. So it was more out in the field type of work. So now for me, it's more like just being at home or wherever I choose to be.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
What's your thoughts on the show?
Yeah, man, this it's crazy. Like this what you're saying, everything you said is 100% in agreement with me. You know, a lot of people will have indifference to it, but I think we do have to understand, like, man, it's hard to talk about these things as well as a BLK person because you know you kind of saying things against your own,
Right.
But the truth is the truth. A lot of us do have mental, you know, situations, and it's like we do got to understand that this wealth and you know building these type of institutions for our own is not going to happen by the majority of us. And then if you
Yeah.
prop up the ones that have struggling issues, then they're going to reflect their mental state in things that they create and demonstrate, and that puts the rest of us at
Exactly.
a you know.
It's
So
like
it's
inviting
like
termites into a
they're
wooden house that we're building.
facts exactly, and I think this is one thing as well. Like a lot of BLK people, they don't want to really like identify with the community struggles that we are actually facing on a daily case. Like
Right.
there are a lot of like well-paid institutions and organizations that purely don't have our best interests at heart because be real, let's be real about it. You got to have some people at a permanent underclass for there to be a permanent upper class
I agree.
and middle class. For other people to thrive, there's going to have to be some people that have to bite the dust. On racial, you know what I'm saying? Is you know, no people want to see their own people at the bottom. That's the truth.
Right.
So when we find that we have these racial experiences, they're tied to communities that actually love their own, but are
Exactly.
gonna be indifferent to our agendas.
I agree. I mean, look at it like this, bro.
You know,
So can I ask?
Hold on. When you know, I have a cousin, and the same thing happened with him. Like, we can use Grok, we can use Open AI. Listen, brother, I'm telling you, trust me. They got studies that talk about from the point of impact when a person typically makes their mind up about something, if they're not an impartial person, they said you can forget. They said there's nothing that you can do. You can open the dictionary. Listen, I just pulled up on the white man's Grok and read this to her. And I don't know. I have no words for it, to be honest.
yeah, it's you know, it's I think as well for BLK women, they don't really understand what it's like to face the world as a BLK man. And I'm not talking about from a place of defeat or anything like that. It's not even that's not the angle I'm talking about. I'm talking about being a man. Like being a man in your community, it puts you at a natural place of responsibility. And your children is not necessarily ones in your own household. It's our generation of children. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So we as men have to be responsible for what happens to ours because no other man, every other man has that same disposition for their community.
Yep.
So now when you have brothers like Stacey Prince, which I've been watching his stuff for a little while, and I think he's really doing some of the greatest work. You know, you have men that come out and have these conversations to the forefront, bringing awareness. These are the gatekeepers. These are the watchers that we need. But you'll have BLK people come out and attack that because as far as their individual agenda, it's in a contradiction. And that's what we're being opposed by, not
So
just
you
other
feel like I
races.
attacked his message? You feel like I attacked his message when I gave credence?
No,
to black
ma'am.
men?
I wasn't. If I was talking about you, I would directly say it. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about in general. Do you get what I'm saying? Because I make content. I have a very small channels. You know, this fear of business, and I see it daily. Like we talk about dating, if we talk about crime, if we talk about history, men show up. But these men, you know what I'm saying, face it.
I also gave credence to black men. I said black men are being attacked in America, period. I took it off the racism thing and I put it onto other aspects of how I felt as though black men are being attacked. with the LGBTQ movement. They also being attacked and discriminated with racism through courts, through banking, through housing market and everything. You speak about rebuilding the community. How can we rebuild a community when all of the areas that's predominantly black are now gentrified areas? That's telling us that the areas that we have in our possession right now is worth some money. But instead of us trying to fix up grandma's house, we decide to sell grandma's house. I'm just keeping it real because I'm in the business of buying the houses. And when they see my black face, they don't want to sell to me. They want to sell to a white person because they feel like they're getting a better offer.
I just think you're gonna always have. I think you're gonna always have trouble. I think you're gonna always have trouble understanding. Everybody. I think oftentimes, Black Boy Wonder. Let me ask you something. Do you think that sometimes, those of us who can who can speak fluently and hold intellectual conversations, talk on a manner of different varieties of subjects. Do you think sometimes we come to a place where we expect that out of pretty much everybody because we can do it? We don't often think about the people who literally talking about messed up. Joel Santana came on the internet the other day and said kids don't need to know how to read. So listen, let me ask you this, Black Boy Wonder. Doesn't that go to speak of how messed up he is to even say that?
Yeah, it was disgusting, man. And I'll be honest. I'm be honest with you, Mr. Prince. Like for me, I grew up in the era where he thrived the most. Right. These days he's put pretty much on the shelf. But Joel Santana was one of my favorites. Basically, what I'm saying. And
mine too.
I saw that, and I was outright disgusted, man. I ain't even gonna hold you that to me, like 4 or 5 years old. You get what I'm saying? I was reading books like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And it's like, I can't, the depth that I have towards my moms, you get what I'm saying, for the type of care she took for me to pursue education and learn how to apply myself, right, academically, right? It's like, yeah, you may not have to get a degree or top-notch degrees or finish school to be wealthy, but saying that you don't gotta learn to read and that you can have a computer, you know what I'm saying, verbalize,
you can't learn math without knowing how to read. You gotta read instructions in order to learn how to formulate problems. Listen, so Porcelain Barbie, let me ask you something. Let me ask you something. For him to even make that statement and be so serious to where he formed an argument behind it, you think he's okay, don't you?
No, I don't think he's okay, but I don't look up to a Joel Santana.
No, you're going somewhere else with it. That's not the point. The things that you are asking out of black people, do you expect to recruit Joel Santana to and him help us build what we need to build?
Absolutely not. I have more esteem for black people. It would be someone like you, somebody's that's, well read, well spoken, understand both sides of the fence.
Do you think there's more people in the black community like me or not? Do you think there's more men in the black community like me or not?
No, I feel like it's rare.
That's what I'm telling you.
But you know what, Mr.
We are messed up.
So y'all want me to, now y'all mad. Y'all mad because I said it's rare. I can't win.
No, we are. Who's mad? What are you talking about?
These people are propped up. These people are propped up. This is what I'm saying. Like when they've made it to where in our community where the least of us can become the best of us. Malcolm X spoke on it a lot. Like our leaders are comedians, you know what I'm saying, rappers, actors. They're not actual people who come from any level of academia, that come from any standard or moral walk of life. They don't even know much on a political, socio-economical level.
I agree.
And that's why we are being led by people who really have the lowest IQs and mental health issues, like you said, Mr. Prince. Someone that's intellectual like yourself, you're gonna be facing a Sukiana.
No doubt about it.
Because she's got clout.
Listen, check this out. Look who they took to the, God dog it, what is it called? The Democratic The Democratic convention. Cardi B, Meg the Stallion. And them black women didn't even have sense enough. Them black women didn't even have sense enough to be offended. Like, this is who you're likening to us? They influence us? I just don't, I listen, Porcelain, I apologize for, getting out of composure, but it's inappropriate. I'm a little bit traumatized, to be honest.
I don't understand. You agree with everything that no, everything that you saying up here is my ideology, is what I believe in about the music that was playing at the convention. I thought it was disgusting. It always seems as though, even with the mayor of New York, why do they have to play rap music to make us more relatable to the candidate? I agree with everything that you're saying.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when you said, you were saying, no, if people just be responsible, stop doing this. No, that's not true. People are listen.
Where do we start?
We got to stop acting like. Listen, so I told people this the other night for the first time. My little sister's life was taken. She's a twin, right? And they had it pretty tough. My mom was in prison. I appreciate it. My mom,
for your loss.
I appreciate it. My mom was in. They didn't have a mother or a father. My grandmother raised us, right? Listen, what I'm telling you, Porcelain, is that breakage that we are talking about. She didn't fall on the blade or something like it. She got hit in the back of the head a couple times, right? My mom and my sister said, y'all know how she lived her life? My sister wasn't in her right faculties. We knew something was wrong with my sister. She was going to the harshest environments. And this is what I'm telling you. We knew that there's things wrong with her. We knew that. I told my little brother years ago, I said, what I don't want you to do is get caught up in ever thinking just because you don't see somebody like this and foaming at the mouth, that there's nothing wrong with them. And that's what we do. That's what we do often. We think if somebody's not foaming in the mouth, you can look at how they're living their lives and tell to what degree they have issues. Listen, black people are messed up. So let me ask you this, Porcelain. Do you believe that America loves black people?
That's called social determinants of health. I'm sorry.
Do you believe that America loves black people?
I didn't.
Oh, Jesus Christ. This is a battle that can't be won.
No, I don't.
Dude, let me ask you what took you so long about that.
No.
Let me hold on. But let me ask you what took you so long about an answer like that.
I'm listening.
No, I said, let me ask you what took you so long about an answer like that.
Because I haven't endured anything that I felt like was racism or prejudice towards myself. But if I take myself out of it and focus not on,
why would you put yourself in it?
Experience,
why would you listen? I want to say this to everybody. I thought everybody knew. We never speak in anecdotals or isolated incident. We always speak in the general consensus up here. Speaking about you can't do anything for us.
And I also told you that I had 2 grandmothers that picked cotton also. So when I think about stuff like that in proximity, no. But when I think of stuff that I see on TV and the masses and the news and different demographic areas, of course, yes.
So let me ask you this. Let's go this to extreme. What has America done to show you that it loves us?
I told you from the beginning, we're not slaves anymore. We have equal opportunities. We have black billionaires. We have a lot of black entrepreneurs. All of our women are very educated, smart. Our men are producers.
So now you do believe America loves us then?
What do you want me to say? I didn't say it. You said it. I just highlighted the great things about our
No,
black
I
people
asked you to tell me
and
what
how we
America has
contribute.
done to show us that it loves us, and you literally started naming some things.
I started naming things that should make a black person think that they can achieve the same things. We had a
I think
black
you have,
president. We
listen,
used
not
to
to
be
be
told
funny or
that we can't.
anything. I think you have trouble. Like, I promise you, I'm not trying to be funny. I think you have trouble with these type of conversations because, listen to me. Listen to me. I said, name something that America has done to make you believe it loves us. And you started naming some things, right? So which means basically these are the reasons I think America loves us. You get that?
I understand where you're coming from. I think you want me to go down this racial hole and
No,
say,
I
"Oh,
just
America
asked a
hate us
simple
because we don't
question.
have this opportunity to do this, that, and the third. We're locked up. We're this. We."
I appreciate it,
No,
sweetie.
I'm just saying, Stacy.
Listen, I don't think you can
Let's be
hold
fair.
conversation like it's
No,
like
I'm
you're
just
not
trying to.
listening to things. And then when you respond, listen, I'm telling you right
Okay.
now, sweet, I'm telling you, when someone says, name something that Stacy has done to make you think he likes other men. If you list a couple of things, it means you believe Stacy likes men. Don't you get that?
I I get it. So I will answer your
Woo.
question directly. I feel like America has disparities towards the black community in some areas. Is that good enough?
It's no good or bad, it's just answers.
Do you feel like
I've
America
been
has
over here.
disparities in some areas?
No, I believe they treat us fair. I've been over here looking for it. There's about 6 really famous content. Oh, is that one of them? That is one of them right there. This must have been meant to be. Could be wrong. I'm going to pull this up and make myself look stupid. I know this is. I guess I got to take the magic off. Boom. Okay, doke. Okay, that is his profile. I found it. Okay, but let me do this. Okay, that's another. Just one more. I'm going to do one more. Okay, that's what I got a point with that. Let me flip this around. Hold on. Okay, that's the part. That's the one I wanted you to see too. So I have a question for you, and I want you to try to, um, I was going to ask you this a while ago. I knew about channels like this. I subscribed to about 10 channels like this. And when you first started talking, when you came up here, I said, there's white people who know this better than she does. And that's weird to me, sweetie. It's like your beliefs go, white people agree, and somehow you're black. And it's like, I don't know if you don't know. You don't believe in product of environment. If you don't believe in product and environment, and I want you to answer this, I'm going to give you the floor. If you don't believe in product of environment, why is it that even when white people are struggling, middle class, they go crazy and even get a second part-time job to keep their child in that private school? Tell me.
I never said that I disagree with product
Ma'am,
of your
100% you did.
environment.
1000% you did. You literally said no.
I said that. Okay. Well, may I clarify on that? I feel like, again, when I say product of your environment, what I'm thinking of, people being the is people being the exception to the rule, getting out of that environment. But now, after you play these videos, I can see why you are saying it can happen at birth.
I just, I give God so much praise, and I just give him glory, and I just worship him. My grandmother used to say this. She'd be sitting on the porch or downstairs. She'd have her quilt over. She would be reading the Bible, but we always heard her say, "And Lord, I just thank you for keeping me in my right mind." Like, I have a very, very impartial mind, and I'm so grateful for it. Same way that I can admit black men are taking each other's lives. I don't listen. Studies show that black men are the most intimately involved in their children's lives. I don't believe that. I don't believe it. That's how impartial that I can be. I'm not looking to be right. I desire the right information, is who I am, right? And when we get to a place to where we can't see the things that are right in front of us, I'm not talking about you, but we become a part of the problem. We can literally, what you were saying to me, let me ask you this. Do you believe us from what you see on TikTok, the women you've seen come up here, and you like, why don't she get this? Do you believe, have you ever seen in our community, the black women come up here and things like, have you ever seen delusional women?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So what I was hearing when you were saying they can do better and da da da, I was hearing you say this. Hey, delusional woman, don't be delusional. It's exactly what delusional is.
You're right. I misspoke. What I was thinking. Hello.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, okay,
I
my battery
misspoke because
thing
what I
popped
was
up.
thinking, I was thinking about, I wasn't counting the people that we would disqualify. I was thinking
Exactly.
about a certain group of people. So that was my fault. So I misspoke by not even including the delusional people, the uneducated people, the promiscuous people. I wasn't even thinking about them at all, unfortunately. And that's even more sad
But
because their
listen,
lives matter.
here's what's messed up though, sweetie. Here's what's really, really messed up. This man-made culture. Listen, you seen Grok said it. Grok said man-made. This man-made culture that we call the black culture, sweetie, it's touched our women who have PhDs. Listen, they said it's reaching as far as
that's facts.
Yeah, look at white women. It's touched white women. We are fucked up.
Yeah, you're right.
This thing that was created. Did you know that how superstars are made? Listen, I'm gonna be honest. Kendrick Lamar ain't all that, but they pushed him to be. That's why Drake sued him. The people who become big are the people who they put more push behind. They put push behind this thing called black culture. Billions of dollars. It is modern. So listen, check this out. I have products that I have got on Fiverr.com and had them to create certain campaigns for me based around certain individuals. And it's just marketing. And I'll put catchy music behind it. And I'll put a catchphrase on it. And I'll push it across the internet. And I'll push it across the internet. And I'll push it. They may not get it the first month. But around by month 3, if I keep pushing it and keep pushing it without interrupting the money that I have to spend on it each month, guess what happens? People start biting on it.
The algorithm shoots it up.
Yes, and that's all you got to do. We are being programmed every day. I do it to people. I've watched it. I've watched my sales go up. But when I don't push that campaign, one of my websites didn't make money for like a year. I didn't know what was going on. I had to push campaigns. And this is what I'm telling you. Sweetie, I don't think you even know the magnitude of how messed up we are. We're messed up. Me and my brother and some of my cousins, we've had those of us who have our wherewithal intact. We have some cousins who, you know that he's an F up, right? And we lecture after lecture after lecture after lecture after lecture. And, you know, we don't know why we give him the lecture because we also say things like, you know, that boy can't do it. We call him can't get right. And this is what I'm telling you. There's some people who are really messed up. It's almost like saying, hey, delusional. Stop being delusional. It's almost like saying, because we know what the word delusional means. It's when you, despite incontrovertible evidence, a person continuing to believe in this thing that doesn't exist. It's like saying, hey, you over there who's capable of hallucinating, stop hallucinating. You over there.
No, I see what you're saying. You're saying that there's a system in place to oppress us intentionally.
I'm telling you that a lot of us are messed up for real. That boy that took Nipsey Hussle's life, he did it in broad daylight.
What is the solution?
Well, I think the solution is we can only rely upon the people who have their wherewithal intact. But the government has as much as admitted that if we get another black leader, they're going to take him out. The CIA has admitted this. We need organized.
When I spoke about the people that weren't a part of the collective, I spoke exclusively to those people, saying that we need to do this, we need to do that, excluding the promiscuous ones, excluding the drug dealers, excluding the mentally unhinged. I was kind of like cast off as being an idiot, basically.
Well, what you were saying, you was talking, no, that's because you were saying ain't nothing wrong with us. Like, no, people could do better. I'm telling you.
No, I completely excluded the promiscuous women. I mean, these women that's twerking, body count on 1,000. What can we do with that?
That's that's all I was saying to you. Like,
but that's what I didn't even think I had to even specify that. Like,
I mean, when you say things like you don't believe in productive environment and stuff, you kind of got me going. You know what I mean? Like, when you say, no, they can do better.
I don't believe that.
That is programming.
Of an environment. A lot of these women were virgins at one point. What made them be so hot in the ass? I don't know. Why are they glorifying that lifestyle? I don't know.
Because
I
Cardi
don't
B
understand it. I
glorifies
can't see.
it. Listen, they know
Poverty
these
should not.
lyrics left and right. Even Beyonce is telling them, independent woman. It's listen to me,
I'm
listen
not
to me.
disagreeing with you.
Listen to me. I think maybe you haven't thought about, a lot of people haven't thought about this. I hadn't thought about it till I thought about it. There's a word that we throw around really, really loosely, and we just don't think about this word. Stacy is one. Black Boy Wonder is one. We throw it around, but we don't pay attention to it. Influencer is real. This is modern day hypnosis. So I can influence this whole. Listen, why do you think they got Megan Thee Stallion? To influence black women into voting how they want it. And it worked. This stuff is powerful. I know somebody.
I agree with you.
I know somebody who has, listen, he believes the same beliefs that I have. He has a page, right? And on his page, Mother Goddess, Queen, Black Beautiful, men are picking on women. And they throw money at him left and right through Cash App and stuff and don't realize he has the same beliefs as me. We got to be aware that some people are messed up. And the reason why me, you, and the other people can't come, because they take out our leaders. The CIA has admitted that who was that said that? You will never have another leader. Like, you know why? Because if we get a leader, we don't even need something extraordinary. We just need some people lead us out of our darkness. But see, then they'll wipe them people out fast. Because do you know what would happen if like you said, $1.9 trillion. Do you have any clue if a people like that got organized, sweetie, they would become a power, is what they would be. Google this up. What is the most influential race in the world? It's black people. We could sell our influence. If Michael Jordan, if all of these people stopped, we could strong arm America. We could extort America. Because what we say is cool is what the world believes is cool. We won't endorse no more products unless you give us this, and that. Listen, I believe this. I don't necessarily believe in reparations would be good, but I don't believe we should be sitting around waiting on it and talking about it, wasting energy talking about it. But if they were going to give us some reparations, give us our own record label and give us half of a small state and leave us alone. But they wouldn't do that. They would pull a Flint, Michigan on us. We don't need our own grocery stores. They would wipe us out fast. So, we're in a bad predicament. Myself, personally, I believe we're under a curse, and I don't believe we can do anything about it until God comes back. That's what I believe.
It's funny. It's not funny. It's something, the fact that you say that, because I think that I don't believe in reparations, right? I definitely believe that we are owed it and we deserve it.
I like that.
But I don't. It's not something I would even waste my time thinking about, right?
Right.
I think if they did give anything, it would totally like you're really saying it in your own way, but it would really destroy their entire economy.
Yeah, man. And that's why they can never let it happen.
Y'all can
That's
say
a fact.
that, but I'm nailed to the cross if I say it. You see how this works? If I say that we don't deserve reparations because of my political views and what I support, I'm nailed to the cross.
He didn't say we don't deserve it. He said we do deserve it.
The opposite.
Yeah, we do deserve it. You think we don't? The Jews got
the reparations.
Yeah. Listen,
I don't think that we deserve it without having financial literacy.
No, it's not about that. We're talking about whether or not something was done to you in order for you to deserve this thing. It don't matter if we can read. We were set back because of what was done to us. Other people have gotten their reparations. I mean, listen, we were set back to the communities were burnt down. Black Wall Street had 21 stores. A hospital.
Mm.
They said today, I know it's underplaying it though. I know that for a fact. Today, Black Wall Street would be worth $1.7 billion, but we know it would be more than that. Listen, Bruce's Beach. White people took Bruce's Beach. Took it. Do you have any damn clue what a beach in California would be worth? You can go over in Compton and get a 2-bedroom for $800,000. And I'm not talking about a modern house. Do you know what a beach would be? They just gave Bruce's Beach back to his ancestors. I mean, to his people. This is what you know what I'm going to do. I want to know how much Bruce's Beach would be worth today.
You know, the craziest thing as well is like where I'm at is the UK right now, right? And in the UK, it was in COVID time, right? One of the MPs, he's not an MP anymore. I can't remember.
$75
million. Yeah, I think his name is David.
75 million.
That's a lot of money.
His name is David Cameron, and that's a lot of money. David Cameron, he received money for slaves, right? You know, indentured free servants, our peoples. I don't want to say the word, but there's MPs that have in their lineage where their forefathers owned our forefathers. They owned them, if you get what I'm saying. And till this day, they still get paid payments because they lost those workers.
Exactly.
So they get paid.
That's a loss.
Slaves that they lost.
Yeah.
You get me?
Basically, you stopped us from making money. And if you hadn't stopped us, it's estimated we would have made blah, blah, blah. That's why they deserve reparations. Black people deserve that. If they didn't, they wouldn't have given it to Jews and people like that. If you stop me from generating money.
So what do you think they would, what would they do with the money once they get the reparations? What would they do with the land?
All black people don't need it. We need a governing panel of 7 people to oversee us. We need lead out of our darkness.
But that's a disingenuous question to ask, to be honest.
That's not
because
disingenuous.
It is though, because there are BLK leaders there are BLK men that are millionaires, and I believe even billionaires, especially in
yes, we have
Africa.
billionaires.
So there are BLK people, right? So there are BLK people that are more than capable of taking that type of money and distributing it on a better behalf.
I agree.
You get what I'm saying? To our benefit.
I never said that, but we're talking about blessing the masses with that type of money. Then you have people in the comments talking about that's their business. That type of interdependent.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that's their business. I don't believe that in the current state that black people are. I believe black people who prove themselves to be competent should be given positions in whatever is built with this money.
Yes.
But in the current state that black people are, I don't believe black people should be given that money, not just regular black people.
40 acres is my family has 350 acres in a predominantly white area, right? And they're trying to eminent domain some of those acres. Do you know how much 40 acres in certain areas are worth? 1 acre is like $1 million where I'm from.
Yeah.
A half acre is $100,000, depending on that's in a rural area. But in downtown area, it's almost $1 million for 1 acre.
Listen, I want you.
They chop it down into parcels.
This is you, person. I want you to just in your own spare time. In your own spare time, I want you to practice. Not no victim type stuff, because I'm quite sure I don't condone that victim stuff. In your own spare time, I want you to just, research generational illiteracy, things like that, and look at the illiteracy rate in certain cities. I want you to develop some empathy for black people. When I tell you black people are messed up, like I just don't know what to, like at a high level. Black people are messed up. We belong to a country that doesn't love us. We belong to a country that we're kind of scared of. We belong to a country that doesn't have our best interests. If America had our best interest, listen, I'm going to be transparent. 9/11, when 9/11 hit and they shut the borders down, I don't care because I've told many people about my past. When people are in the streets and a drought hits, all of the guys who, I want to say this right, all of the guys who are the people that other people buy from, they try to hurry up and score, because if you score when there's a drought, you can sell your stuff for 3 times the amount because there's a drought. When they shut the borders down, there was 5 of us out in front of my grandmother's house, and each of us was calling our connect in different states. And one of them said, is in Chicago, one of them said, hey, I got blah, 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 but y'all, man, y'all better come get it ASAP. About 10 minutes later, he said, man, I had to let it go. Now, the moral of my story is this. That was my first time seeing that if they really wanted to stop DRUGSs from coming into America, listen, that thing lasted about 45 days to 60 days of not having, listen, it got so bad, people were balling up pancake batter with a little bit of water, putting it in the corner of sandwich baggies. Beans were buying it. They knew it was fake, but they were in hopes that maybe this one might be real. Listen, if America had our best interests, do you know how much of this stuff they could stop? Do you know that they could, listen, they could make sure that we got better percentages of these record deals. When Mary J. Blige was, I think Mary J. Blige's albums were selling for $16.99. I think Mary J. Blige was getting like 20 cents off of each album. America has had the solutions to all of this. This is why I say America does not have, listen, and I'm going to go back to what Black Boy Wonder said. Why would they do right by us? We stand a chance at being a formidable opponent. They have every reason to put mechanisms in place to keep us from standing up. Because Lord God up in heaven above, if we ever did, we have tools that white America doesn't have. We are the most influential race on the planet. Our talents supersede that of any other race. Do you disagree with that?
No, I agree 100%.
When our
1000%
schooling is proper, we can achieve almost anything, but we're messed up. So I was in Chicago, doing,
glad you made it out.
Yeah, I mean, but see, and okay, you just actually made a good point. It's only by the grace of God that I made it out of everything that I was doing. Most people don't. And that's what I'm telling you. Like, we're messed up. We are messed up. And I call myself to be a person who has his wherewithal intact. But look at what I was doing. So, listen, I was, when we would go to Chicago, I would see the environment. And I'm like, there looks like no hope around here. So imagine living in that. Homes with boarded up doors. 2x4s on an X across the window. So Tony Robinson said this. Tony Robinson said, because I took the course. Tony Robinson said, the things that you want most, take a picture of them. I don't care if it's a car or a house. Take a picture of it and sit it on your wall. The more you walk by it, the realer it becomes in your psyche. Imagine walking by all of these dilapidated buildings and houses like Detroit, Michigan. Have every incentive to believe you ain't shit. Because I felt like that when I was there. When I was there, I was like, it's like a gloomy cloud was over me. And I said, what about the people who live here? I'm going back to the crib in a minute. What about the people, this cloud that this adventure has over me? What about the people who live in here? And not only the ones that live there, but the ones who have been driving down the street with their homeboy in the car, and all of a sudden, their homeboy's brain matter splats on their face. See, this is what I'm trying to get you to understand. We messed up, for real. Look at what we do. Look at the gangbanging situation. You think that those are competent people doing that? I interviewed some people here. I'm not the interview was it was dope, but I didn't have the microphones plugged up, and I thought I did. Some people from over in Compton, and I said, as real as we know this thing is, this thing about banging, how are people getting wiped out when they know so and so and them looking for me and it's on site? I said, if that was me, think I'm moving out the state. And they said, nah, that's not how that worked, man. You know, I mean, you be hoping that you're gonna get them, but you know, you also know that in a minute you can walk out your grandma's house and somebody be hiding around the. You don't think, in order to accept that there's a good probability that I'm getting popped up today, there's a good probability, sweetie, to take yourself there and learn to get okay with it, you have to be messed up. There's no way you can be okay. What are your thoughts on that? Tell me.
I mean, I agree with you that, an environment can shape your cerebral cortex, your way of thinking, your mind. I get it. I understand. But I used to like James Allen, and he wrote the book As a Man Thinketh,
Yeah.
and he talked about how the universe is mental and stuff like that. So I just believe that, you know, if you have a clear purpose in life and a beautiful vision for the future, you can have that as your guiding force to achieve your goals. That's what I believe. I feel like, he gave an analogy of two bankers. One had a million, both of them had $1 million, and they both lost the $1 million. They both lost it abruptly. They both went broke. And he said one unalived itself, and the other one said, you know what? The same way I made that million, I can do it again.
Okay,
So I don't.
I want to show you
I'm
something.
sorry.
Go ahead, you can keep on.
I don't feel like, if you grew up in an impoverished area, I feel like, I don't know if it's some bias because my grandmother raised me with certain principles and religious beliefs. I just wasn't that far gone in my environment. I just wasn't. I was pretty much sheltered, and I was away from all the riffraff. I went to school, came home, did my homework, stayed in the house.
So you didn't even get
Um,
poisoned then.
I mean, you
So
see
you
stuff
don't
though,
even
so
know what it
you,
feels like to be poisoned.
I do, but that's like a conversation that I won't have
No, but
here.
you said you
You
wasn't
know,
around that stuff.
I wasn't around it until my like adult life.
Well, okay, well, that
Beyond,
even makes more sense. Once you got that old, you had the wherewithal to be able to navigate through it better. I'm talking about boy, like at 4 years old, growing up in poverty.
yeah, no, yeah.
You do know that they say that's when that's the most important times of your life, like from the ages of 3 to like 6, right? They say that's when you're
Yeah, I
sponging
mean,
everything.
I agree. We experienced poverty. Family had food stamps back in the day when I was that young. It used to be like a book or something, and we used to eat the hot dogs and the nasty pork stuff. We ate all that stuff.
No, I'm talking about
The
like I'm
nasty
talking
pork.
about very bad situations, like dilapidated buildings and having friends that's done been taken off this planet. I'm talking about that real stuff. Like I think a lot of people
Uh,
don't had meal issues here and there, but listen, that high level breakage, like I just yeah, like
Everybody's family experienced incarceration rates. My father, different members of my family was incarcerated before in life. We all experienced that.
yeah, I ain't really talking about that though. I'm talking
Yeah.
about like
Anything after that, no, not deaths or
yeah,
anything
no,
like
I
that.
ain't forget the deaths. Let's talk about like I'm just I don't know how to explain it. Like when you are in certain environments, you can feel the cloud over you. You can feel it.
It's
You
like an
know that
almost
about
spiritual
somebody
hunger.
done got their life taken right here before. When you look at it, when you just Jay-Z said the majority of people in Marcy Projects where he lived have never ventured eight blocks outside of it. But listen, here's what I wanted to show you according to what you was talking about. I want to show you this. When you said, person can, snap out of I want to show you something.
Right.
Listen, do you know what this argument is about? I don't really like him as a person, but Neo, he's a huge influencer. He's saying that this is luck. He's a huge popular streamer. And he's saying, no, it's not because of how hard. You know who else agrees with him? Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett said he wouldn't be Warren Buffett if he had been born black. He said, I likely wouldn't be Warren Buffett if I had been born a woman. So this thing that you're talking about, like this, with the two brothers that you were talking about, one snapped out of it, the other one didn't. Listen, everybody don't have the same components. They don't. Listen, you know what the judge said? In order for me to come to LA, like I was on house arrest, everything. He said, and I know it's true. I know who I was. I was forced to take a class that he used to have. Go to the courtroom where people get sentenced. Nobody's in there but the students, about 10 of us. Where, we talk about what have you been doing and what are your plans in life, blah, 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 and stuff. And I was in there for about 6 months. And he pulled me to the side and he said, Stacy, with everything that I've heard about you from police, he said, there might be cops in my chambers talking about somebody else, about a traffic stop or something. Your name would always come up. He said, just based on what all I've heard about you, I always knew you were a demon, And he said, this guy that I'm seeing in this class, you're nothing like what I've always heard. Listen, me and him, I wished death upon him several times. Now we talk once every 2 months, right? I couldn't have moved to LA because I was on supervised probation and I was on house arrest. When he found out why I was coming to LA and the people who was going to host meetings for me, he had the bailiff cut my in-home detention bracelet off. He paid $600 out of his pocket of my own in-home detention fees. And he took 4 years of probation off of me so I could come. He said, you're an exceptional person. He said, this class, do you know how many people come back and break the rules and go back to incarceration? So what I'm telling you is this. Some people are exceptional, but not the average. And I think we got to look at it like that. Listen.
Okay, well, I stand corrected. I'll start looking at it from not the exceptional people, but more so the low level.
Yeah, because we got some, right. We got those. Like, look at the music they're giving us. Listen.
But how can we help? There's no way of helping them though, Stacey. Like,
we got to show them, sweetie. We got to show them.
So how you going to do that?
We build something fantastic.
Oh my God.
See, because you got to think, the people that me and you are talking about right now, they can't be told something. You got to give them something amazing that they want to be a part of. Nobody wants to stand outside of the cool kids party. We need a panel of 5 people, 5 to 7 people to lead us out of our darkness. And we can raise a certain amount of money that will let these proven people know that we really are tired, right? If we raise about $25 million, some of the most accomplished. These are people who have problem solving, have proven track records of problem solving because he's a multi-block. He's worth $50 million. We need those people to help us put together the correct system that will lead us out of our darkness, reinforce our morals, get us back to where we used to be. And the people who are continuing to perpetuate black people in a negative light on social media, we cast them to the side and we don't let them be a part of us.
I had a solution, but I know it didn't work very well. I thought about just getting highly valued men and their wives and building a community like that. Not polygamy, but everybody have their own separate wives and their own separate money, and we all chip in like a compound.
It's a good idea. It's a good idea.
This guy where I'm from, he's actually a developer. He thought it was a good idea. And I broke it down like if we all spent just $2,000 a month per couple, that's a lot of income.
I agree.
A lot of income. You can have a full gym. You can have everything. Cars.
I don't think I would do it. I think we need a.
I think it would be a start. I think it would be a positive thing.
I don't think. You see, always some doubt there. I don't think we can do it. And
No,
you get the
he's saying
wrong
he don't
No, it's
believe.
not.
He's saying he don't believe that would be the solution to the entirety of what we need. I know it
Yeah,
wouldn't, but it would be a positive thing. We at this point we need anything
absolutely.
that we could get. That would be
You
a
know why?
positive.
I
You know
mean,
why,
have you?
Black? Before you cut me off, it will
Do you
be
know about
positive.
COINTELPRO porcelain?
Hold on. Before you cut me off, it would be a good thing because right now we all in our individuality. We all
Right.
having separate income, separate houses, and now a single woman can't even afford to stay by herself at this point, especially if she has children.
Yep.
So let's talk about husband and wife. And if she works, it's still arduous task for him to produce and keep up with all of that stuff for her too.
I
It's
agree.
hard on her. So the Mexicans or Spanish people are winning because they all know how to live together while we don't.
I agree.
So guess what? Since we don't know how to live together, we can have pavilions, a compound where it's still our separate way, but we still in a community and we still no one's freeloading, but we all contributing to the environment.
Listen,
Have you ever heard of
YouTube.
COINTELPRO
Listen,
porcelain?
where are my show
No, but I can
supporters
look
at?
it
We've
up.
been giving you a hot show
See,
for 4
this
hours.
is the thing, right? This is why I say
We could at least
about
meet this
military.
$50 a night
Because
threshold, people.
no matter
Show
what
love
we
to the
do,
show.
right?
Been
We talk
giving
about
you a
we talk
4-hour
about
show.
money.
Approaching
Yeah, it's
5.
got a lot to
Rock
do
with
with
the
the
show,
FBI,
people.
right? We talk about money
Cash App is
and
Stacey
putting our
Prince.
dollars and cents together.
Or the
But
PayPal, the
there are
same Stacey
agencies
Prince.
in the government that are
We've had close to 100
created to
people in here all night.
infiltrate what we do. Like, if I read this document, it's literally, this is on even Wikipedia,
Rock with the
where
show.
it talks
Like the
about
show
how
rocks with you.
the COINTELPRO was created and
Let's
what
go,
their
people.
main,
Let's go.
purpose was for, was to create disunity and allow
Talking about feminist organizations and stuff like that.
No. This is beyond.
And individuals targeted by the FBI, including feminist organizations. The communist.
Nah, beyond that, they targeted groups like the Communist Party, Anti-Vietnam War, right? Activists in the civil rights, BLK power movements, Martin Luther King. Student organizations, and the list goes on, right? But what they were made to do was to create division so that we could not unite. And the whole point of what I'm saying here is that we are against the establishment. Established meaning that these people are steeped in currency, they're steeped in power, they're steeped in social economic power. All of these things that they have developed over time has become the establishment. And we are unestablished people. We live in poverty for the most part. So we can talk about what we can do with money and stuff like that, but my thing is, how do we protect our own agenda? Because we are in a world where it's not about what you want to do morally right or wrong. It's about your agenda versus my agenda. What's good for you may not be good for me. You're not even coming up with a solution. The first solution that I had, which was something was better than not having it at all. You want us to still be stagnant, not have anything. If I told you my solution, you wouldn't agree with it. And I'll be honest with you, I know most Americans won't, and I'm American myself. My solution first.
All right, people. We've been up here too long without any support. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Tune in tomorrow.
I would say Africa. I would say that that's the land that all of us have a connection to as far as BLK people. And we could go there and we could develop.
It's disappointing, people. All of the research that goes into this thing, and you guys don't rock with the show, but it's all good. Out of here.